Everybody, welcome to Nintendo Power Block here on Watchbrush Network. I'm your host, the last excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only Buffman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, sir.
Hello, Edward. Another slow news week, I see.
Yes. On the Nintendo front, it's kind of been quiet, but as the Xbox front,
are you sure it's quiet? Did you look at these stories? Not so quiet.
I'm just saying, with
Ed
Xbox
saying he didn't look at the news today.
No, I'll say with the developer direct, Xbox had a big week for news compared to Nintendo. Just
yes,
my observation.
Can't wait to play all these games on Switch 2.
Especially
considering what Phil Spencer said on Gamertag Radio this week.
Oh yeah.
Did you listen to that interview?
Not yet.
Oh man, it was good. But yeah, we'll talk about it. It's in the news, so we'll talk about it.
Well, shout out to Danny and Paris and them at Gamertag Radio. I listen to them from time to time.
Long, man.
Yeah,
they're like the OGs. You know? Yeah, man.
But that's someone who I think hopefully we get to meet one day. Just to thank him for his work.
Who, Danny?
He's very passionate. Yeah, he's very passionate and very hardworking.
He follows me on Blue Sky.
Oh, nice.
I'll reach out to him. I'll see if we can get him on something.
Nice.
I mean, what's the worst he's gonna say? No. Oh well.
So
why not?
Yes. Yeah, there's things in news for Nintendo. I think I'm still I'm kind of proud, definitely with the developers direct from Xbox. Very shocking from their first announcement, and we'll probably get into that more later on in the show. But I'm like, oh, Microsoft is bringing some heat this year, at least the first half of this year. I'm like, good for them. Would that generate system sales? Don't know yet. But software sales, hopefully so, and probably more subscribers to Game Pass. We shall see. But developers direct, a lot of people came away with that very, very impressed with it.
Yeah. Well, Ed, there's a lot of rumors and we'll get into all of it, but there's a lot of new rumors about games that are coming to the Switch 2, including some that I mean, I expected, but they're rumored for launch, and I'm like, dang, launch, that's gonna be a tough we have a question about the launch window, so maybe we'll talk about it then, but I really hope these third-party companies don't throw all their games out on launch day and then complain that they aren't selling on Switch 2, right?
Right.
If you're gonna put 3 Assassin's Creed games and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Elden Ring and Diablo 4 and all these games out on the same day, what are you doing? Just space them out. I don't know. We'll get to it though.
Yeah, we will get to it because I have thoughts. Not about what could be the launch lineup, but I think more of launch games in the first 2 months and everything. Because I know when Switch came out, there was so much opinion about the games that came out, and then it's just week after week, the lineup of games that was coming out was so good and so surprising. And then you get Mario Kart that April, and it's still selling. It's one of the biggest sellers on Nintendo's platform, first party wise. And you will hope that with Switch 2, something like that would keep happening, will happen again with one of their games, but we won't know.
Yeah, but dang, especially after the Xbox Developer Direct, like
yeah,
those games, yeah. We have a lot to talk about tonight, Ed. It's gonna be another beefy show that I wasn't expecting this week, but here we are. It's gonna take us like 30 minutes to get through Pack Watch.
that is true. Well, Corey, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm tired. I've been really sick the last couple days, so but the show must go on, as they say. It's been the worst today, actually. I started getting sick on like Tuesday. Like I felt like it. I felt like I was getting sick, but I was like, I'll just push through it or whatever. And then it just every day has just been getting worse and worse and worse. And today I just feel like complete garbage. But it's fine. It's gonna work. Well, it's I'm a little. I got the chills. I've got a blanket wrapped around my legs. Got my water. What they say, you need to stay hydrated when you're sick. With
me drinking Gatorade and water.
Gatorade's bad for you. Gatorade's terrible for you.
I don't drink it that often.
No, I'm just shouting it out. Like if you are, man. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm fine. How are you, Ed? You just woke up from a nap apparently because I texted you 400 times.
Yeah, you did. I was out of it. It was another. So what's been happening, everybody? Just to give you an idea. I've been closing Thursdays at work. And then have to open on Friday and then open again on Saturday. But my phone, because of our other manager, I might get calls from him and stuff. It might mess up with my sleep pattern and everything. So we don't close from my job till 11 o'clock at night on weekdays. So my phone is consistently on until they leave work. So I'm kind of on call that way. So I normally have to stay up until they leave the store in case if any problems happen, they call me. And then I got to be up and be at work now on Saturdays for the time being, like at 5:30 in the morning. So I get off, I'll eat, I'll lay down, or maybe get up, play some games. This one, I was waiting for the show, and I started watching Ninja Gaiden Black 2 playthrough on YouTube on my Xbox, and I laid down and was kind of gone, disappeared into darkness. When I woke up, I started hearing my phone going off through text. Shout out to Corey for waking me up. Because this is my thing. Anytime I'm called at work, I'm in trouble. That's how I generate my first name. I'm like, when you get to at work after calling me Ed and Eddie, not you, Corey, just in general. When I get called my original name, I'm just like, oh great, I'm in trouble now. What did I do? So it just feels like Corey had Edward already like saved in his phone and just kept hitting Edward Sin.
I typed out Edward and then I just kept hitting copy paste because I knew if your phone just kept going off, you would wake up eventually.
Very true. But I was waiting at like my time at 7:20, 7:30, so I didn't see nothing from you. So that's when I fell asleep.
Well,
So, yes, everybody, I'm admitting my truth, and everything. So, yeah, but we are here, ready to talk all things Nintendo with some hopefully Xbox stuff. And yeah, we're gonna get into these housekeeping notes. This is Nintendo Pod Block, the Nintendo podcast for Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network. You can catch us every Monday morning on your favorite podcast app, on YouTube, and on our free tier over on Patreon. If you want to support us, you can head over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, and for as little as $1 a month, you gain 2-week early access to Expansion Pass, 1 more early access to Video Game Book Club, exclusive access to Power Block 1 Up, I don't know why I said Power Block, episodes, and more. If you can't support us financially, no big deal. Leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review on podcast apps, or subscribe to us on YouTube and leave us a comment or a like. You can find all of our podcasts and more content like daily banters, features, reviews, and more over on our website, bossrush.net. So, I know, Corey, you may be talking more about this, but everybody, the 2024 Bossies full presentation awards is up on YouTube on Boss Rush Network, so Boss Rush Media, so you guys can check out that full presentation from beginning to end. I was watching and listening to it when it released this past Friday. You know, excited to see how everything turned out. Once again, excited for the winners and listening in case I missed anything and stuff. So, excuse me, but it was really, really good just listening to it.
Yeah, I watched through it and I found 3 mistakes. So one was easy to cut out through the YouTube editor, but 2 other ones, they were just transition mistakes. It was a general like fade transition instead of the purple fade, the purple kind of slide transition. So not a huge deal. People may not notice it, but I did. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of work. Still quite a bit to be done with that, but I want to try to get all those clips out on socials this week and up on YouTube and all that. And, just so we can get the attention of some of the developers, so we can have the team start working with some of them, because I know a lot of them have been wanting to work with some of them for a while. And,
yes,
this is a way to make those connections as well. I don't care because, I don't care to work with developers on, in terms of like getting free stuff, but, I know that a lot of people on our team do like and kind of want that. So, we're gonna do our best to do that. There are, a lot of developers to tag. So I think there was like 46 categories this year.
Yes.
By the way, next year we gotta find a way to cut this show in half. That's the goal. Maybe like 25 categories, and like, I do like the idea of having our friends contribute. I do like that.
Yes.
A lot. Actually, I think it actually contributes to the quote unquote celebration of video games instead of just an award show.
Yes.
So I think we need to cut the awards in half and maybe have that. And if some of our developer friends have trailers, show some of those and stuff, because I do think some of those went over pretty well too.
Yes.
So yeah, I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed, it was just really long, and I was like, why is this taking so long? Well, it's a 5.5 hour video. Of course it's going to take long to edit. I was like, why is this taking so long? Every time I thought it was almost done, another thing would pop up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do these too. So it was, I mean, my whole issue with this, it wasn't the time commitment. It wasn't it was the failure to deliver on time and me underestimating the rendering. And, I guess it's a learning point for next year, but like, it's something I should have known after doing this for so long. And, I don't know. I felt really bad for a while, but it's up now, and the rest of the work is going to happen this week, and getting the rest of the segments up and on YouTube, and the categories out on socials and up on YouTube and as shorts and everything, and it'll be good. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you everyone who contributed, by the way, and submitted a video and all that. And just, a lot of people put a lot of effort and work into this, and it turned out great. I think in the grand scheme of things, it turned out really great. So
yeah, it did. And I think for a award show like this, I think everybody was happy to contribute, and people, I think people are really grateful to be able to be in a award show.
Yeah.
It shows how much they appreciate and love games, and kind of appreciate Boss Rush in general. So
yeah, I mean, the goal was to connect people, right? And hopefully people through this connected with other people, and that was the goal. And I hope people appreciated that aspect as well, because we go to these events and connect with people, and it's really cool and really nice and stuff, but also it's really hard for some people to get out to these, because it's so time consuming and expensive, and I mean, even if you get your badges for free, you still got to get a plane and a hotel room or an Airbnb and pay for food and all these other things, and it's still expensive. And this is hopefully just another way for people to connect who can't always get out there, and do that kind of thing.
Yes. So, well, Corey, do you have anything to plug on your end?
Yeah, I guested on the Nintendo main podcast on Wednesday, and that episode is out. I'm gonna send it through our socials this week, so you can go check that out. We talked a lot about Switch 2 and Mario Kart and the passing of David Lynch and a couple other things. It was really fun. We need to have them on soon too, because I don't know, we've talked about collaborating with other Nintendo podcasts this year too, and Nintendo Main has always been good friends to us and supporters of us, and we always support them, but we never get together to do a podcast. So maybe in the next couple weeks or month or so we'll have a crossover episode with them. But yeah, I appreciate Trey reaching out, and I was supposed to be on the week before the Bossies to talk about stuff, but I got bogged down by editing. So
I was supposed to be on there I think 2 weeks ago too, but I was with Sebastian for the Single Player Experience podcast. I'm and I thought I would be able to do both podcasts at the same time, do Sebastian's, and then I wrapped up with Sebastian, do Nintendo Main, but timing reasons it didn't work out. But hopefully I'll get a chance to record with them too, because I love those guys also. Trey, his team, the big supporters of them.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah,
he actually let me talk about Disney Dreamlight Valley a little bit too.
Yes. I did send a question to Brian Shea for All Things Nintendo for his podcast.
His video was great in the Bossies too.
Yes. Nintendads is something new. I haven't heard of them.
Oh, dude, they've been around forever.
I missed them, so I got to give them a listen and check it out. So, look, I'm trying to spread out and listen to a lot of other content creators and a lot of podcasts.
Well, that's why I put a lot of people in the Bossies, so people could find other people to listen to.
Yeah. So,
it doesn't mean y'all can go run off and not listen to us anymore.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta come and hear the hot takes. You gotta come hear the comedy, the good deep discussions.
I think that's why people are leaving.
No,
I'm just kidding.
So,
Just
but
kidding.
yeah. I don't have really anything just yet, but hopefully by the time you guys see this, my Blade Chimera review will be up. You guys can read that on bossrush.net. I am in the process of getting 4 banters together to send to the writing team so they can get that one to read. I kind of because of Xbox's developers direct, there's one game in particular that made me think of some key developers leaving their respectable titles and how this affects stylized action games. That's one of them, one of my topics that I'm writing. Because it is very interesting to see. And everything. But hopefully you guys will be able to give it a read soon. I just gotta go through I know the history of it, but I gotta just make sure that I get that history correct and then go about talking about the topic and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then some other things, some other banters. So Corey, how about we get it? How about we get into Snacktendo?
Snacktendo.
What you been snacking on?
We finally went to Dewey. I've been craving that barbecue chicken pizza from Dewey's for like 3 weeks now.
Yes.
3 or 4 weeks now. We finally went and got it. Oh, so good tonight. Oh, it was so good. So we had that, and dude, it just has like the perfect amount of like. So it has like this, like the corn, bean, onion, red pepper salsa mix kind of on it. It's not really salsa. It's just like chunked up vegetables together. Like when you go to Chipotle and you get like the corn salsa for your chips, right? That's kind of what it's like, but it has like black beans and red peppers in it too. And then like the chicken is really good, and they just drizzle the barbecue sauce on it, and it's just really good, man. It's really, really, really good. So that's kind of all I've been snacking on though. Oh no, work took us to lunch twice this week because we hired a new employee. So
no, nice.
So we had Dave's Cosmic Subs, which is a local thing. And then we where did we go? We went to this burger place called Flipside. It's like I don't know, it's not like a chain or anything. And I got this really, really good grilled chicken Caesar salad there.
Ooh,
it was really good. Yeah, it was really good, man. It's probably the best salad I think I've ever eaten in my life. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
did you use Caesar dressing? Caesar salad dressing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was had Parmesan cheese, had some a little bit of onion, had those special Caesar croutons, Caesar dressing, grilled chicken. It was one of the best salads I ever ate in my life. Not even joking.
I always when it comes to like a Caesar salad, it's that grilled chicken I always look forward to because I always I want to see how it tastes, if it's seasoned or if it's tender or just right. Because I'm still getting meat, but I'm not getting that much because that meat help bring out the flavor. Because I'll run to a Caesar salad with quickness and everything.
Yeah, it was man, it was good. It was so good, man. Like, I thought about it for like 3 days afterwards.
Was it your first time having that there?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was my first time there in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it was really good. So
that's good. That's cool.
Yeah. It was really good, man. I can't. Man, now that's all I'm thinking about again.
That's me when I started eating food from South Bend, Indiana. When I went there and started having some of their food, I came back home with just like I can't have Illinois food at all for a good while because of how good the food in Indiana was. I'm like, man, I want to go. I'm like, I would want to drive 2.5 hours back to Indiana just to get food there because it was so good. That's why I definitely when I go there, I'm like, you already know. I need to go to this place. We need to see if they open for lunch, and then bam, bam, bam. We'll get dinner. After dinner, I'll rest, and then I'll make my way home and everything. Same thing when I go see Jesse in Appleton. I'm like, man, Wisconsin food is bomb big. It too. Eating different places right there. And just experiencing like when Jesse shows me his local food places, I'm like, yeah, let's go get that purple rice. Yeah, let's let's go get this bomb chicken.
Sounds like a slang term for drugs.
No, oh no.
Got any of that purple rice?
No, the purple rice is really, really good. It's one of their Chinese spots, like Asian, Indian food that's just so good. And then cutting it up with Jesse and everything. I have fun when I'm with Jesse, and when I go to Appleton, I have fun with Raw, my friend, when I am in South Bend, Indiana. Just have a really, really good time with that. But for me, everybody, I got the Lay's all season chips. And it contains the salt and vinegar. It contains the barbecue ones, and then let's see, sour cream and onion. That's the flavor, and it tastes like a regular Lay's chip, just with a little bit flavor or more salt and vinegar flavor on it. You can taste a little of the barbecue, a little aftertaste of the onion and sour cream, but I'm like, no, it's not hidden. It's too it tastes just too plain, like a regular Lay's chip. So I'm like, it's a pass for me. If it's on sale, I say try it for yourself if you are tempted, but it ain't no flavor on it. I haven't tried it because I just picked it up, but I got some Cheetos plus cheese pizza flavor, and Doritos got a golden sriracha flavor. These are the like little small travel bags, so I haven't got a chance to try them. I just picked them up, so I'm excited to give it a try, and I will tell you guys next week on how they taste. But excited to give those a try and everything. Did have some of the jalapeno cheddar Cheetos. I think those are becoming one of my favorites in the Cheetos kind of line. And then Corey, so Thursday,
oh boy,
I had to get Chipotle because I text you and I was just like, well, it's a Chipotle night. I literally was at the store by myself, and I couldn't do nothing about it because it was just too late, and I know nobody was gonna come in and try to work, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna order Chipotle. I already got a drink, and you know, I'm just gonna take a few bites and everything. And I did finish my Chipotle at work in front of the customers that I had, in case they see me eating. I'm just like, I gotta eat dinner. I'm like, I've been here since like 3 in the afternoon, and it's like 9 o'clock, so I don't know what to say. I gotta eat. But it was good. I started adding extra rice to my Chipotle, because Because sometimes I feel like I'm getting robbed with the regular size. It'd be all the fajita and cheese and then really no meat and no rice. It'd be like, no. I'm like, no, I'm not paying $20 some. And I'm not gonna give you nothing. You better stack this mug. I need something to eat. So
wow,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and then have some ice cream, so chocolate ice cream and caramel ice cream for a sweet treat. Yeah, so that's what I've been snacking on. I think this Sunday, I'm probably gonna go out and get some ramen or sushi. I am gonna try to go to the movies though. Hopefully, Wicked is still playing, so I could go and watch it. If not, I'll go see Sonic 3 or something. I just want to treat myself out because I know the Super Bowl's coming up soon.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, I think there's games on tonight. I think there was a game on tonight, actually. Whoops.
Oh,
well. Whatever. I don't care. The Browns are gone. They're done. They've been done for a while. So it doesn't matter to me. But, you know.
It will matter to you once the season comes back.
Hey, the Browns are undefeated for 2025. So, you know. Anyways.
Yes.
Good times.
So, but everybody, it's time for Play with Power. Great. What have you been playing with Power?
So I've been playing a lot of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I have gotten through the first two areas, I guess you could call it, the jungle and the beach. It's fun. I really like it. I don't know. There's a couple things. It's really good and it's really fun. I do find myself after about 45 minutes wanting to play something else. I just feel like, okay, I've had my fun for this, session. Let's go play something else. And I think that's just how I'm going to play this game. I mean, it's not a very long game. I saw a long play on YouTube that was 4 hours and 32 minutes and it was 100% run. So I'm like, well, it can't be that long. Even if I'm like taking my time, it probably shouldn't take longer than 6 hours. So I think we're going to do a expansion pass on it at some point. Just like a spoiler cast and review discussion. Not that you can spoil anything in this game. There's no story really, but I do want to talk about it in depth, and I want to talk about every Nintendo release in depth, or as many as we can, right? In some major way moving forward. So whether it's like a couple weeks to like a month after it comes out, because I'm, especially like something like Xenoblade is going to take a couple months for anybody to play, right? So
yeah,
I mean, we might do something 6 weeks after, a couple months after, but I like I said, we want to cover Nintendo the correct way this year, and there should be some sort of Let's Plays going up for Donkey Kong on our YouTube channel at some point, just to get a quick look at it. So yeah, but I'm enjoying it. It's I kind of do miss the other Kongs from the from Tropical Freeze, but I also like that simplicity of like really mastering Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong's moveset to do certain things, and it's very pretty. It is a very pretty game. Very vivid colors and bright colors and good use of the enemies look cool, and like the little like the enemies are very colorful and very cool looking. I kind of forgot about some of the enemies in this game. I also like the silhouette levels. Those are really cool. Those are really good. So I'm really enjoying that. I have also been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley the correct way. I am I'm finally in the Dark Castle, Ed, which is the end of the campaign, the first campaign. I'm in the Dark Castle. I will probably finish it after we're done recording tonight, actually. Yeah, it's I'm finally there.
Yes.
So I had to do a couple more quests for Moana. I had to find the cursed cursed beach toys, which was like a sand bucket and a shovel.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll wrap up this main campaign and I want to redo my island a little bit. But then I'm going to move on to Rift in Time, which is the second campaign that came out
DLC?
that came out in 2023. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll make my way through that. And then I'll make my way through Storybook Vale, which came out in November. And yeah, I'm going to keep playing it. New Star Path starts around Valentine's Day, so looking forward to that. Oh, by the way, I unlocked the bonus tree for this Star Path.
Nice.
I forgot that. So I was going through and I was like going through the store or whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot that they added, so this is something they added late last year, which was like if you finish your Star Path, you get an extra branch of it, which unlocks other collectibles, which is just like they're just different. They're just variations of the things that you unlocked in the main thing. Like, there's a blue snow fairy dress in the main path, right? So in the bonus path, there's a green one. Okay, well, whatever, or like here's a blue snow bench. Oh, well, in this one you get a green one, right? So I don't know. It's not that interesting, but I unlocked it and I finished that. So that was fun, I guess. It also made me want to re-download Disney Speedstorm, which is that free-to-play Mario Kart ripoff that's not really Mario Kart. It, because it locks all the characters behind a paywall. Not only does it lock them behind a paywall, but it locks them into the season pass, which just what a I can't believe that game I can't believe that game's still online. Or like they just don't sell hey, if you want all the characters, here's the $60 version of this game or whatever, right? Like,
I don't even know if there's any updates and stuff still coming.
There's a new one. The new one just started last week. It's Moana themed. Maybe 2 weeks ago.
I haven't seen any kind of updates on a lot of websites about that.
Yeah, game. They featured it on the Nintendo and the eShop this week. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes if you don't play for a while and you log back in, they're like, oh, haven't seen you in a while. Here's some mouse coins. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, also it's the current one is also Incredibles, has Incredibles in it too. I'm looking at this. Yeah, this is, oh my gosh, it takes forever to load. The Switch version, man, it's not great. Talk about two games that are going to get a huge
upgrade,
huge boost on the Switch 2. These Disney games, man. They're gonna, yeah. So, anyways, other than Disney Dreamlight Valley, Ed, we played a lot of Mario Party this weekend with the kids. It's really fun. I win every time. My kids get mad at me for winning, but I can't help it. I'm not trying to win. I mean, I am, but I'm like, the dice rolls are random. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help that, on bumper balls that before my kids can even hit anybody, they roll off the stage. It's not my fault. Okay, and I'm not gonna let my wife win. No. Okay. And it's not my fault that like the bonus stars at the end of the game. Oh, you moved to the most spaces. I can't help that. It's a dice roll. You know? Oh, you landed on the most red spaces. Sorry. I didn't do that. The game did. You know? So I end the game with like 6 stars. My kids have like 1 and 2. I'm like, well, you know, I can't help that I bought a star and then Toadette floated 4 spaces down from where I am currently, and then I buy another star.
Dad, you're cheating.
Yeah, essentially. I'm like, no, I am not.
But after even all said and done, do you feel good that you win?
Yeah. Yeah, I won. Not my fault. So.
You move away from the fan, you be like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, hey, guess what? I'm on Disney Speedstorm. Did you know that if you want to buy each character individually completely maxed out, it's $25
Oh no.
per character?
Huh?
I just clicked on Aladdin and said fully maxed out Aladdin. Oh my gosh, dude. This is terrible. Also, like, how do I even select anybody? Like, what is going on here? Oh my gosh, there are a ton of racers. There are a lot. That's cool though.
Now I'm good. I'm super, super good.
Costs real money. Yeah, I know that.
It's almost like $200 some plus. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, man, this is Olaf is $5. Oh my gosh.
No.
I'll revisit that at a later date. Disney Speedstorm, man. What an awesome concept for a game that they just
failed in execution.
They could have just done it Overwatch style, right? Where they're like, here's a $40 product, right? And every season will unlock a new character, and then you do the battle pass style the way Fortnite does, and be like, if you want new skins for these characters, or if you want new skins for the new character, or even tie the new something to the cart for the new character to the battle pass, then you buy the battle pass. If not, then you just paid $40. You know, I don't know, man. It really bothers me. Anyways. Out of all the games Disney has lent out to people to develop, which I think overall they've done a really good job of managing, John Drake over there, who runs Disney Games now, has really done a great job of managing these games and, licensing the IP out to specific studios. And they've all done a relatively good job. This is the one complaint that I have out of all of them. I mean, I guess the Avengers to an extent, but I kind of I think Crystal Dynamics did a great job with the single player stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think that game was supposed to be a single player game at one point. But Square got greedy, in my opinion. But I think everything else they've done has just been, I mean, all 3 Spider-Man games have been good to great, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy game was awesome. Indiana Jones is really good. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is decent. Disney Dreamlight Valley is good. That Mickey Metroidvania that they put out, Illusion Island or whatever, was pretty good. They've done a really great job, but all the Star Wars games have been pretty good for the most part. I don't know, man.
Yes.
I don't know. Just Disney Speedstorm, man. Could have been something. Could have been.
but it wasn't.
Because mechanically, it's great. Mechanically, it is really good. The racing is good. The power-ups are interesting. The tracks are good. You know, the rubber banding isn't as bad as Mario Kart's. Like, it's really good. It's the monetization, man. Anyways, sorry. I didn't mean to ramble like that. Just,
no.
It really grinds my gears, Edward.
It's just, like I said, this is a game that I didn't even know they were still doing updates. I feel like that game came out and disappeared. Like, I hear when it comes to updates for any Disney game, it's mostly Dreamlight Valley. That's the most that I hear. Anything else? Yeah. Question mark. Don't know. So, all right.
Keep going. I'm just getting some water.
Well, for me, everybody, I started Tales of Graces F remaster on Switch.
Ooh.
Really fun, really good game. I'm going to be spending more time with it. I'm only just play like a few minutes of it, just to see, to get the feel of it. I've been playing Dungeons of Hinsenburg on Xbox, making my way through that. Corey, I pulled the trigger and uninstalled Indiana Jones. I'll just have to come back to that game later.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll play it on Switch too.
I don't know, dude. It just didn't capture me, and I was excited for Indiana Jones. I gave it a fair shake. It sounds great. It sounds good, but I don't know. I think it's something about this beginning feels like a slow burn. I don't know what it is. So, I just feel like, you know what, I'm gonna take it off, put some space back on my system, so I could install some more games and stuff. Like I finally got the Halo Master Chief Collection digitally, finally all on my Xbox. So that's all installed. I've been playing a little bit Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown on Xbox. I'm installing the Blob 1 and 2. Because I'm like, I had those games and kind of want to just like replay them and try to get the achievements on those games. Because I do enjoy both of them. They both are fun, funny. They look beautiful. Anywhere you play them, even when I beat them on Wii, they were just like, oh, this game's just so beautiful, so great. So I'm excited to be replaying those. And I'm thinking of downloading Doom Eternal. Me and Jesse was talking about that game, and I was just like, well, I got 3 months to get this game finished before Doom the Dark Ages. Because I was talking to Jesse, like do text. I was just like, man, Doom the Dark Ages, it has to have like riffing guitars. Drums got to be insane. And I'm like, the action's got to be just nonsense, just full on gory, delicious nonsense. And I'm super excited for it. I was just like, but I gotta force my way through Doom Eternal. Cause man, Doom Eternal, I did have high hopes for that, but man, that game just felt like, this doesn't feel like Doom. And I think I just gotta give it another try, for it and everything. So yeah.
You play it on Switch too.
Yeah, that is true. But
you play Doom Eternal on Switch right now. I have
Switch.
Look for look for those Let's Plays coming soon.
Yeah, but it was that I bought it. I bought Animal Crossing, and then I went and bought Doom Eternal for a digital because I realized that they didn't have a physical release. So just like, well, I just get it digitally and play it that way. In fact, I think that was the only way that they released it was a physical. I mean, it was digital because I think was like on Xbox.
No, there's physical versions of that.
Oh, I couldn't find none. I'll just buy it. Oh, I know what happened. None of the physical versions.
The pandemic
right.
happened.
Well, yeah, but I was able to get the physical Animal Crossing, and I thought Doom would be there. Doom Eternal will also be there, but none of the stores carried it, so I just bought it digitally that day. So I went and got my Animal Crossing from Target. And then came home, just digitally paid for Doom Eternal. So I'm going to give that one a try. Yeah, and then just start working on Donkey Kong Country, work on Xenoblade Chronicles, Definitive Edition, the first game, trying to make my way through that. Yeah, and try to get a lot of, like I said, a lot of games beaten this year for 2025. For it. So yeah, that's.
And now that I'm done with the bosses, I can kind of sit down and finally focus on playing games.
Yes. So yeah, that's what I'm playing with Power. I don't have any pickups, but Corey, do you have any pickups?
I do, Edward. I do. I have one. I did order some stuff today, but I'll save that for next week. Which next week I think you're going to be excited about. But I got Mega Man 11. Mega Man is Mega Man's one of those series that I've always wanted to be into, and I really like the idea of it. I just it's so hard for me, especially because I didn't play them as a kid, right? And going back as an adult is just like I don't know. But I have made it a goal this year that Mega Man will be a series that I sit down and play through this year.
Yes.
The whole series, that like Mega Man 1 through 11, right? Not like maybe I'll get to X at some point, but you know, all the weird spin-off games and the Zero games and the ZX and Battle Network and all these other things,
side games.
Yeah. I do want to get through the main games this year, the original games this year. So.
I will say, like I said, I think 2, 3, and 1 are really good. 1, 2, and 3. I just put them in different order. 1, 2, and 3 are really good. I still need to finish 4 and 5. I played them, but I never fully went through them. 6 and 7. 7 is the Super Nintendo one. I didn't really like that one.
Which one's the one nobody likes? 8? That's the one with the really bad voice acting from PlayStation.
Yeah, that was a place. I actually love 8. 8 is so good. It's so fun. I know 9 was the Wii one. That was really challenging.
9 and 10 people love.
Yeah, 10 got a great soundtrack.
You think we get a Mega Man game this year? There's been rumblings, but
I think we do. I think there's a possibility we do.
Just because, Secret Level had that Mega Man episode, and
yeah,
I don't know. There seems to be a lot of Mega Man floating around the internet recently, and Capcom licensed out those they have all those toys that are coming out that are like $20 a piece of all the Robot Masters and stuff. Those are all really cool. I thought about getting the Mega Man one.
I think a lot of people really want Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 to be re-released.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a layup, I think, right? That would be a pretty easy collection to throw out there, right?
Yeah, because they still got the role-playing games that they could re-release. Capcom still got a lot of Mega Man stuff that hasn't released here or got a re-release. Because I haven't played the soccer game that they made. I never got a chance to play that one. But I think a lot of people just okay, you're bringing up all these collections. Can we get a Mega Man Legends and the Mega Man Legends 2? And hopefully you guys realize that we want a part 3 to wrap up this game, to wrap up the story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll ever make a part 3, but I do think that, I don't know. I think it would be nice to just have those on a modern platform, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like even if you don't do anything to them except for put them in HD or whatever, I think all these games should just be playable on modern platforms from a historical and preservation standpoint, right?
Yes.
They're just not available And I think Capcom and Konami, actually, out of all the companies out there, have done a really good job of bringing a lot of their games forward. You know, like Konami's collections are masterful, in my opinion.
Yeah, because a
Like the
lot.
Castlevania collections are like really awesome. Like they have all that extra art, and like the Mega Man collection has all that extra art and
And then some
digital
of the
libraries
games,
and everything, right? Like,
some of the games are the Japanese versions that
mm-hmm.
and everything. And I think a lot of people don't realize for like Konami, it's very serious that people get these collections because you talking about Nintendo not re-releasing games. When Konami release a game, it's only on that platform.
Yeah.
They've never Contra has never been re-released until they did the Contra collection. Same with a lot of the Castlevania games, like Simon's Quest and even the first Castlevania. None of that got re-released until the collection came.
Well, they were on they were on Wii Virtual Console, I think.
Well, for the maybe the regular Castlevania, but not. I don't think Simon's Quest was. Maybe Bloodlines probably did, since they had the Sega Genesis for the Wii. But for it to be on like every platform, to be more available or having a physical copy and stuff, Konami never re-released it. A lot of their games. That's why people were just wondering why Contra has been a game that never came back out, and that was the case. It was just a Konami thing. They just never re-released it. So yeah, their collections are way more important to me. Love Capcom, love their games, and I think what benefits with Capcom is that if they show a trailer during Nintendo Direct or stuff, that's guaranteed sales. So they did Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 collection on Switch, like for Nintendo Direct. Oh, everybody's like, yeah, everybody pre-order this right now. Get this game. Or even if they did a shadow drop for a digital version, they're going to get some purchases because there is a community who want this game. And Capcom will see the numbers and be like, yeah, okay, we're also releasing it for Xbox and PlayStation. But I'm like, if you guys show us like day one purchases and stuff, and it's a good number, we'll probably be thinking about Legends 3, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll find out at some point, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know. I wonder if these companies are planning on it, but like, you know, trying to line it up with some sort of new release, right? Like as a marketing beat for a new game, right? Like oh hey, you know, what do you I'm trying to think of something off the cuff, I guess. Like say they're about to release Mega Man 12, right? Or they announce Mega Man 12 and then they're like you know, as a marketing beat they drop the Legends 1 and 2 collection, right? Like as a quick marketing beat to get people excited for Mega Man or something. I don't know. Just something like that, I guess.
Yes.
Or like the Metal Gear collection, right? Was a big marketing beat for the remake of Snake Eater, right? That was kind of what that was for, even though they dropped the ball on the release date for Snake Eater. You know.
Yes. I can't wait for hopefully they do Metal Gear Volume 2 and everything.
They will. They will.
Because I think it's only just Metal Gear Solid as a collection that's out, not the first, not Metal Gear and not Snake's Revenge, not the NES ones. I think.
No. I think those are on there. I think those are on that Volume 1 collection.
Did they do a Metal Gear for Game Boy?
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are in there because they are part of 2 and 3. Like they have versions of those in 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay.
Like the subsistence and the you know, those like the VR mission versions of those, right? Like those are in there somewhere.
I wonder what do people think is the real name for that series? Is it Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid? I'm so curious to hear people's answer. Just like, what is the main name franchise?
Oh, it's Metal Gear. It's Metal Gear. It's Metal Gear.
But I wonder how many people would know that instead of people saying Metal Gear Solid.
Well, I mean, even if you have paid attention since, even if your first experience was Metal Gear Solid, like you still have Metal Gear Rising, Metal Gear Acid, Metal Gear Portable Ops, right? Like you still have games without the name Solid in it.
Yeah.
So,
but I wonder how many people would just say, "Oh, it's Metal Gear. That's the name of the whole franchise."
I mean, I think Metal Gear Solid rolls off the tongue a little bit better than Metal Gear, but I don't know. That doesn't really matter, I guess. I like how it's called Metal Gear Solid, and you only play as like Solid Snake in 2 of the game.
That is true,
right? Like even the new one, right? Like you don't play as Solid Snake. You play as a different character. We'll say. I don't want to ruin. I know, like, as much as I don't play those games, I know the characters and the storylines and which characters you play in which games. I don't know. It's the same. It's the same as Resident Evil. It's the same as Mega Man, where I pay a lot of attention to like the conversations around these games, just so I'm like up to date and know what's going on with these series. But like, I've never played a lot of these series, you know, or a lot of the games in these series, and so like, you know, I feel weird talking about them in one sense, but I also like try to pay attention to the conversations around them so I can be informed so we can have discussions about them.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh, goodness. Resident Evil is such a roller coaster, which I still need to beat 6.
So I have beat 2 of those, 3 of those games. I have beat 3 of those games now. I've beaten 1, 4, and 5.
Oh, Resident Evil 5?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that you.
Yeah, well, I actually got that console, the red Xbox 360, when it came out with it.
Then, did you play with just the computer?
No, I played co-op with a friend from work at the time.
Okay.
Because it sucks by yourself. The AI for Sheva or whatever her name is, is terrible.
That's the same thing with my friend. We played Resident Evil 5, me and him, when I was at Toys R Us on our PlayStation 3. And it's weird because it's just like when you go through the whole game and you beat it and you replay it with these powerful guns, it's not scary. B, you can get to the game quicker. And just be like, oh, this really wasn't just a over the shoulder third person shooter, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it was for me anyway. I don't know. It wasn't. 5 isn't a hard game at all. 5 is just not hard. So,
I think that's why, like, if I do it by myself or anytime I play it by myself, because my PlayStation 3 save don't transfer or anything, I just put it on easy. I'm like, I already beat the game, so I don't care if anything happens. I'm like, I already know what happens. I'm just playing this game just to get my guns powerful and then to run through everything. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of series I would like to play through, and I still, besides the stuff that comes out for Switch and Switch 2 this year, I'm still probably going to try to treat this year as a backlog year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to, you know, in a lot of ways. So yeah, I need to. There are games that I want to play on the other platforms, like, you know, Xbox. I think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black looks awesome, and Ninja Gaiden 4. I also am waiting to see if some of these games come out on Switch 2. Like, I feel like Ninja Gaiden 4 is a shoo-in for Switch 2. Am I crazy?
Oh, yeah.
I feel, even Ninja Gaiden Black 2 to a degree, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't they release the Sigma trilogy for Switch recently?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So
but it wasn't. Yeah, it was. They said that game wasn't good on any of the platforms, or it was okay on all the platforms and stuff. Um, but it
Yeah.
was something that just like came and went.
It's so weird. Xbox is publishing those games. Did you know that?
Um,
Xbox Game Studios
Game
Publishing is
publishing.
publishing Ninja Gaiden 4 and 2 Black.
I wonder, are they publishing also for PlayStation?
Yeah.
Because that was weird. Because I think they were just like, I think IGN put out a story saying that the physical version of that game is only coming to PlayStation 5. I was like, that's weird. But
I mean, it's not for Xbox though. It's not. I mean, Xbox is trying to force you into their digital ecosystem. That's where they want you.
oh, of course, yeah.
You know, because if you buy it digitally, you get it on game. You get it on in the cloud. You get it in the cloud stuff. You get it in on PC, right? For Xbox Play Anywhere. You know, you just if you buy the digital version, you get a whole bunch of other perks. Also, like, not that we haven't talked about this before, but they're notorious for not putting the games on the discs that they put in the boxes. So why even waste your time?
So, well, I think that's why, maybe that's the answer on why a lot of their space is disappearing in a lot of stores for the
It's
games.
exactly why it is.
But I think it's like the hardware and accessories are going to be there. It's just the physical games. It's not going to be there. I think
I even wonder how much longer their hardware is going to be in some of these stores. To be honest, you know, although like Phil did, and we'll get to it in the news, but like Phil did reconfirm Xbox is staying in hardware. So
okay,
I don't know. Which like I was kind of like I was talking to my wife this week about stuff, you know, obviously stuff she doesn't care about, gaming stuff. And I just was like, I feel like I really made the wrong decision investing in the Xbox over the last, you know, 2 generations or so, 3 generations. Because if these games are coming to other platforms, why do I have an Xbox? You know, like, but like I prefer the Xbox platform as a platform. You know, it's not because of the games, it's because of the services they offer and everything. And like, I don't know.
I think it's because like for me, I think it's the way that people treat Nintendo. Oh, I'm getting a Switch or a Nintendo product just for the first party, and that's it. Because I know I can't play anywhere else or whatever. And
I know that really bothers me when people say that.
But I think that's the same thing people have with Xbox. Like, if I'm going to play their first party, I'm going to have a play it on Xbox or their game subscription or whatever, Microsoft Windows or Steam or whatever, for their first party. I think with PlayStation, it's not so much for their first party. It's like, okay, this is a place where I'm going to play my third party games. Their first party is whatever and stuff. And I think I'm just like, I want to experience Microsoft first party. I want to experience PlayStation first party. I was going to experience Nintendo first party. So like the first party stuff, I want to experience on their hardware that they release it on. If they plan on putting it on other platforms, very cool. That they do it. But if I get a chance to play it on earlier on just a platform that it was intended to, that's what I'm going to play it at. Now with third party, it's always going to be Nintendo first if I could get it. If not, I'm going to go to Xbox unless it really is a PlayStation exclusive or anything, or I only can play it on PlayStation. I'll get it there. But I'm like, I think like I said, with the feel of the controller for Xbox, I'll pretty much get third party stuff there. Now, if no one's carrying the Xbox version and I have a chance to get it for PlayStation 5 because that's the only available option, then I would get it for PlayStation 5 or PlayStation. But like, I think it's, for me personally, it's just gonna be like, where can I, from a physical viewpoint or perspective, that if I could get it, that physical available on Nintendo first before I could get on anywhere else, that's what I'll do. because the quality doesn't. Some of the quality in some of these games really don't matter to me. I know that if it's on Nintendo, I need to snag it now because if I ever want to return to it, it's going to be hard to find when it's out of print. I can always now just get the digital version for Xbox, and if, because everybody's gonna be like, well, what about the licensing thing? If that gets pulled, can I still play that game even after I buy it? And that's gonna be that's pretty much a lot of people's concern about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, they're trying to move away from physical, so like you said, do go to their digital ecosystem where they'll have more control than the physical space, because the physical space is saving them money and in stores. So that would make, if you want the physical and it's available, pre-order it at your retail store. So when the game comes out, they can ship those copies to those stores, and those shipped copies are only for the people who made the order. You got controlled ordering, so they don't have to be spending much and sending too many copies that's not going to sell. So, yeah. But, well, Corey, should we get into FamiNEWS?
I suppose we should, huh?
All right. Well, everybody, it's time for FamiNEWS. Corey, take it away.
All right, Ed. Our first story is really interesting. I didn't know this was happening until earlier today. Astral Chain 2 could finally be in development, but there's a catch. The director, Takahisa Tora, the director of Astral Chain, has reportedly left Platinum Games to establish a new company called Eel Game Studio in Tokyo. This follows earlier reports of several key figures departing the studio, including co-founder Hideki Kamiya, which we all know left to go back to Capcom to work on the now announced Okami sequel. Details about Tora's new venture are scarce, but speculation has risen about potential projects such as the possible Astral Chain sequel, because Astral Chain is owned by Nintendo, not Platinum Games.
Yes.
And that speculation has come from a Reddit source under the Platinum Games subreddit, with a letter from I just lost his name, from Tora himself. The link is in the show notes for those who want to read it. But basically, he's talking about his planned title for Nintendo Switch 2, and that they're talking about Astral Chain in some of this, and some spoilers for Astral Chain are in this. So look out for that. But speculation for Astral Chain 2, Ed. The one thing I want to reach in here says the project for a sequel to Astral Chain was was quickly mooted in the studio, and the pre-production and project was launched in early 2021, but very quickly came up against a number of internal problems. This is at Platinum in the project, and most of the people working on the project were required to work on other things. So they went months without any progress. But fortunately, in 2022, thanks to Hideki Kamiya, the project was finally able to get back on track and go into full development at the same time as Steel Colossus, which he says, quote, "I don't know if this game is still alive. Thanks to substantial investment from third-party companies." And then this goes on. Nintendo themselves reboot Astral Chain 2 project after significant delays and money being recklessly spent by Platinum Games. I don't know if it was always the case, but the point onward, the game was planned as a title for the Nintendo Switch 2. I will share the information I have about the game. Warning, the information dates back to before its reboot in June June 2023. The game is intended as a direct sequel to the first, featuring the same protagonists with the option to transfer save data from the first game for customization. The main antagonist was planned to be, and it's blocked out for spoilers. It was supposed to feature branching paths, radically different chapters. One of the early levels was set to take place on an aircraft carrier off the coast of the city. So there's like a lot of things being discussed about Astral Chain 2. I'm not it sounds like they were working on it at Platinum. And then he left, so I don't know if let's see. He goes on. This was posted 3 days ago. The situation at Platinum Games is truly dire. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years we start seeing people speaking out publicly about what's been happening. So, which we've kind of expected. And it was kind of nice to see Platinum Games turn up in the Xbox presentation with Ninja Gaiden 4, right? Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute, but it seems like Astral Chain 2 is happening, whether it's at this new studio or at Platinum. It's cool, you know. It's cool. I think, in my opinion, that it's happening.
Well, I think we expect the Astral Chain to be happening on their next platform. Definitely with Platinum Games. Because of the good reception the first one got. I think it did good in sales also. And I think a lot of people were just like, oh, this is something new for not only Platinum Games but for Nintendo. Because it's a new IP that Nintendo paid for and had to make. And I think it was good for Platinum Games because of all the stuff that they were making with it. All the games that they were making, and some of the projects that did come but wasn't successful or didn't get released.
Yeah.
And everything. So it's good. I think Platinum Games probably were busy. My guess is because of making Ninja Gaiden 4 with it.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think Astral Chain 2 is always going to happen, whether it was with Platinum or not. You know, I think that just remained to be seen because it did sell really well, right? And I think if you want this sequel to sell well, you got to get it out at the beginning of the generation, not somewhere towards the end, right? Like I think once that market is saturated, you're going to lose a lot of money to other games, right? Especially if Switch 2 is going to support more major third-party games, right? Like I think Astral Chain needs to get out early, maybe even that first year. I mean, if they rebooted it in 2023, then it's not coming out this first year, right? But I mean, if you can find a way to get it out in 2026 or early 2027, right? Like that January slot, they usually like release remasters or whatever in. Like, you know, I think they could do something, but you know.
And I kind of feel like full production or even the pre-planning, if there was money involved, I think that was just like, you know, getting ideas, gameplay ideas, like trying stuff out. I think it was money from Nintendo spending on those things. So I think that money was used first, and then the production was halted because I don't think Platinum Games is a truly big developer. I don't know how many employees that they have, but I feel like they probably had a lot of developers on Ninja Gaiden 4 with Koei Tecmo. I think with those two companies working together, I think a lot of focus went on to that game. And Astral Chain 2 was kind of just like, okay, I think they probably had a contract with Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja before Astral Chain 2. I think there was talks for Astral Chain 2, and Nintendo was just like, well, let's see what you got. We're going to give you guys some money. do concept phase, get into your concept phase, like doing the story, finding mechanics, what could be done new and stuff, and just come up with stuff. Because I don't think Platinum Games even had a developer kit for Switch 2 or anything. So I think they were just like in the pre-planning development while they were working with Koei Tecmo Team Ninja, and everything.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of those key developers who left Platinum Games, I was thinking about this with Kamiya too. I'm just like, he's a developer. He wants to make games. He wants to get his hands in the process of making games. He just doesn't want to sit on the sideline and be like or feel like a consultant and stuff. So that's why I think he went back and made Clover, because like this is his studio. He could get his hands on and make the game with his team, developers, who probably went with them or that he hired. Same here. I think they were just like, we wanna make sure that we develop games, not have the political mess that's connected to it. We want to get our hands dirty and make games and stuff, and I think that's probably what happened with it, because like you got two of the biggest stylized action developers with Team Ninja and Platinum Games, and them coming together, working together to make Ninja God of War, like you said, we'll talk later, is really big. And thinking about it, I'm like, Nintendo has worked with both. Yeah. Nintendo has worked with Platinum Games, of course, with Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 3, Astral Chain, Star Fox Zero, and some other stuff that the Nintendo has hired them to work on with. Nintendo at Koei Tecmo with Fire Emblem Three Houses, Ninja Team Ninja intro with Metroid's Other M. Regardless how you look on that game, like Team Ninja did a fantastic job in the combat session. It was something for a fresh with them, so that's a learning experience in everything. I kind of feel like that going forward, that Nintendo's gonna still continue to work with Platinum Games as long as they're around. They're gonna still work with Koei Tecmo. And I think Nintendo's gonna work with Team Ninja, on a new project. Like there's chances that they could be working with them on a new project. And it's been a while since we heard anything from Team Ninja.
I mean, what was the last thing they did?
It was that collection,
Neo,
that Ninja Gaiden collection. Yeah, that was.
Well, I mean, like their last real game, was it Neo 2? Was that their last real game?
Yes, I think, because they didn't do Rise of the Ronin.
They didn't. Who did Rise of the Ronin?
I don't know. I think it is Koei Tecmo, but I don't know.
Let's see. Team Ninja. It says Team Ninja. Rise of the Ronin is a 2024 action role-playing game developed by Koei Tecmo's and Team Ninja and published by Sony. Their previous efforts were Neo and its sequel. Huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So, I always forget Rise of the Ronin exists. I'm not going to lie to you.
Same.
Like all these like samurai games that are out now, like between Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed and Neo and even something titled Stellar Blade. I know it's not a samurai game, but the name Blade is in there, and then Ninja Gaiden is out now, and it's just like there was a time where none of these games didn't exist at all, and now we're getting them all at once.
Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, Wolong, Fallen Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh dang! Fire Emblem Warriors. They did.
But that was
3DS
Omega
and
Force, though. Omega Force is that studio inside Team Ninja
Team Ninja.
that does
Okay.
all the Muso games.
Okay. Let's see. Dead or Alive 6. Extreme 3 Scar. That was 2019. Neo 2 was 2020, which was a really great game. Yeah, I thought it was just a master collection. Then when I was seeing Church of Paradise, I'm like, oh yeah, Team Ninja did do that. And then I couldn't think if they did Wolong Fallen Destiny because that was another one that came and went. Um,
I didn't even know that came out, to be honest. I thought it was still in development.
it was 2023.
Dang.
Atelier, the Atelier game, I didn't know that was Team Ninja, it says co-developed with Gus and Akatsuki game, so that was a code thing. Rise of the Ronin was also development system by Sony XDev Studio, so that might have been like a co-development thing. Venus Vacation Prism Dead or Alive Extreme. Which is a romance adventure. I'm assuming that's only Japan and stuff. But yeah, from them just personally, besides the Dead or Alive Extreme, I think Wolong Fallen Destiny was the last one. Yeah, because like normally when you see a Team Ninja game, you see those waves coming, and before it hits their logo, like you see that, and so you know this is a Team Ninja game, but you just haven't seen it in a while. You just think of Koei Tecmo making all of these other games, the Warrior games, Fire Emblem with the intelligence system, and that's pretty much what you think. Like you don't think of like Neo and these Souls like adventure open world games. You just don't think of Team Ninja that way because you think of them doing action and action style games and making them challenging. But Itagaki is not there, so I think they have more freedom to do different things.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, I mean we'll see, right? I guess I hope Ninja Gaiden does well for them, and I hope that we see more from Platinum or even this new studio. Whether it turns out to be a Platinum like studio, because they did say a new Nier game might be announced this year too, and Platinum killed it with Nier, the last Nier game. So maybe we'll see that as well from them, and they'll be on the up and up. The only problem with Platinum, which I've heard come up on a couple podcasts recently, is that the reason why nobody wants them, like to buy them, is because they have no IP. They don't own anything. Everything they work on is owned by somebody else. Bayonetta is owned by Sega. Ninja Gaiden and Team Ninja, Nier, Square Enix, like even the licensed stuff, right? Like they worked on that Transformers game. They obviously don't own that. They don't have any original IP. Even Vanquish is owned by Sega.
I think so. Stelis, or what is that game that Kamiya did?
Metal Wolf Chaos. The shooter, the space shooter. I mean, it's not a huge IP though. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that thing that's
huge
theirs.
IP. Yeah.
They
Mad
do great.
World. Oh no, Mad World Sega.
Yeah, Mad World Sega.
Dang. Wonderful 10. See, so Wonderful 101 is a weird one. Because it's on every other platform. But I think Platinum published it on other platforms. And I don't know. That's a contract thing with Nintendo. I don't know how that works.
Nintendo published it, but they sold the publishing rights back to Platinum. So Platinum owns that, but that's not a huge IP, Yeah. It still hasn't sold well. So
Soul Cresta, that's it.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, and they have a couple negatives on their resume too, with Babylon's Fall and Scalebound, and you know, I mean, it's not their fault, but like, I mean, well, maybe Babylon's Fall is their fault, but you know what I mean.
I think I, I I think they were like a middle management, like a second party kind of developer, work for hire, like Insomniac. Like they really don't own their games because Sony published them. So,
right, and they tried to get out of that. They tried to get away from that. Remember, with like Fuse, and they even had remember GameStop published one of their games.
Yeah,
song, what was it called? I wanted to say Song of the Deep. Is that right? The little like Metroidvania submarine game that they made.
Yeah, Song of the Deep. Yeah,
and then obviously they went to Sunset Overdrive with Microsoft, but again, they don't own any of those IP either. You know,
right? Because Fuse is now owned by EA. Because that's everybody go. I don't know what year that the original trailer of Fuse came out, but it was a big conversation of, and I don't ever know if we ever got an answer. What happened to that game? That it was showing at E3.
Oh, it was called Overstrike at that point.
Overstrike, and then it turned into Fuse because EA was publishing it. EA did the publishing for that game, and we got nothing else out of Fuse. It probably didn't sell well, and I wonder if Insomniac made the decision to change, or did EA made them change it. And
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's whoever is doing the publishing, and I'm assuming that's the deal. Once they do the publishing, that game belongs to them, unless they outright buy it back.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but Astral Chain 2.
I'm excited.
I'm interested to see what they do, because I think Astral Chain is a really great IP that, you know, Nintendo owns and they could utilize. So we'll see. And you know, they came out and said it was planned to be a trilogy, and I think that's an IP that deserves to see at least its trilogy through. And I think Nintendo can really use an IP like that to switch up things, you know, over the course of the next 18 months for the Switch 2, right? Like, I think they could really use it.
Yeah, and I think Nintendo still trusts Platinum Games and will still work with them closely. Like, out of any relationship that Platinum Games has worked with, you know, I think Nintendo is probably their best one, and a little bit with Sega, because Sega does the publishing, but like outright working with Nintendo, I literally think they probably still have a really good relationship, and that's something that Platinum Games really want to be like. We take this serious. We want to make sure that if we're making a game for Nintendo, it is just right. If they give us creative freedom, but still come in and give us some directions. Give us your honest opinion and feedback so we can make it right. Because if anyone is going to invest in us, it's going to be you, Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I hope this turns out the way that people want it to, because yeah. Speaking about turning out the way that people want it to, our next story, Xbox is quote, really looking forward to supporting Switch 2. Phil Spencer said this in a recent interview with Gamertag Radio. Phil Spencer confirms Xbox support for the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2, expressing excitement about bringing more Xbox games to multiple platforms, including Nintendo. He praised Nintendo's innovation and success, believing that the Switch 2 will also be a massive hit. While no specific game announcements for the Switch 2 were made, Spencer mentioned ongoing collaborations such as the revival of Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms a rumored Diablo potentially joining the lineup, and more. Phil Spencer had a couple standout quotes here. These quotes are pulled from the interview from Gamertag Radio. The interview is in the show notes from their YouTube channel, so you can watch it or check it out. Quote, I want everybody to be able to play on Xbox, and it doesn't mean more of our games shipping on more platforms, not just PlayStation. We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam, and that's going to continue. We'll just continue to do more of it. We would never bet against the success of that team. I mean, they are just masterful in what they do. Switch is a massive success, and I think Switch 2 will be as well. So, you know, there have been, obviously we talked about Microsoft's support moving forward of the Switch 2. You know, we
he thanked the president for the bigger screen too. I read that in the story. I was just like, yeah,
and we'll talk a little bit more about the more Microsoft games and other games rumored for Switch 2, but later in the rumor mill section. But like, I mean, Diablo 4 seems like a home run. You know, what was the other rumored one that we talked about? Master Chief Collection sounds like a home run, right? Like these Xbox games sound like a home run on Switch 2, right? Like it just, I think, you know, as much as the Xbox hardcore faithful are mad that they're not making these games exclusive to the platform, I think Microsoft is getting ahead of the inevitable for PlayStation and Xbox, which is we have to put our games on multiple platforms because of our budgets alone, right?
Right.
And PlayStation has the advantage in terms of hardware sales, and they just get all that, you know, third-party money that can help fund these first-party games. But like, if PlayStation's not, you know, when let's say PlayStation was in a situation like Microsoft, like it's a lot different surviving off of 60 million pieces of hardware sold than 20 million, right? And you know, I mean, as somebody who is a believer that consoles will always exist because people always just want to just plug and play stuff into their TVs, and I think, you know, people who say PC gaming is going to take over everything are just not paying attention to normal people and people who play you know, normal games, right? Like, people want to just sit down on their couch and play, you know, a couple hours of Call of Duty or Mario Kart or, you know, GTA or whatever their like comfort game is, right? They want to play a couple hours a night after work when they get home after a hard day, or after, you know, their kids go to bed and they have a couple hours, right? They just want to relax. They don't want to have to go through all the PC stuff. You know, that takes a very specific person, and that takes a very niche type of person, no matter how much the internet wants you to think it's not a niche person, right? Like, I don't want to play PC games. I just don't. I don't ever want to play PC games. You know, that's not what I want to do. I love the fact that I can plug my Switch or my Xbox into the TV and it just works. You know, I don't have to do anything. Oh, I might have to download a firmware update or a game update once in a while, but that's like normal. You know, you expect that. But I don't have to check to see if all the parts I have are compatible with each other, and then, you know, go in and see which settings work for which parts and download drivers and all these other things, right? Like, I don't know. I think that consoles are going to exist in perpetuity, and I also think like consoles are in a different space now where, like, I think PlayStation 4, 5, and 6 are all going to be on the market at the same time, right?
Oh yeah,
because of how games scale now. Yeah, certain games will only be for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6. Yeah, certain games will only be for Switch 2 and not for Switch 1 or whatever the next console is, right? But like, I think Microsoft is ahead of the game in a lot of ways in terms of Xbox is an ecosystem now. It's not just tied to a box. I think a lot of people are so tied to the old school way of thinking, the box is what you're invested in, but it's not anymore, right? And I think people are Nintendo fans are going to learn that with the Switch too, especially people who have gone all digital at this point. And you're investing in the Nintendo Switch ecosystem now, right?
Yeah.
Like, these games are going to work across the platforms regardless of which system you have moving forward. And like, at some point it'll be like iPads, right? Where like we support all the Nintendo Switch systems back to, this version, or, you know what I mean? Like, or like PlayStation, this game is supported from PlayStation 6 all the way back to PlayStation 4, right? Or it only works on PlayStation 5 and 6, or maybe it is only a PlayStation 6 game. But you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be, the system is going to have to let you know if that game is compatible on that console you're playing it on at this point.
Yes.
And I think Xbox is just ahead of the game, and they want to have their games be everywhere. And they've been, even though their messaging hasn't been great around it, the idea that people are starting to wrap their heads around and that they're finally starting to kind of project, right, is like, they were also talking about like their Xbox handheld, and it kind of seems like they're going to put an Xbox kind of wrapping around Windows 12 for their next, at least their next PC outing, and probably their next console outing, right? Like, and they said they want to have a better Xbox usability for handheld PCs, which, you can take that how you will, and maybe that'll be something we discuss later on a different show. But I think having a lot of these games on Switch is going to be great, and I think we'll talk about it a little bit later in the rumor mill, because there are a lot of games that after this interview went live have kind of come out as like rumored games, which also take it with a grain of salt. But what do you think of more Xbox games on Nintendo platforms?
I think it's expected. I think, like we talked about in the previous expansion pass, is that Microsoft could be first and third party. In any direction, they could be third party on other platforms, and it's worked for them. I think with them putting their games on Nintendo systems, like Phil said, we have a great relationship with Nintendo. So, and like I mentioned before, it's just like with Activision and with ZeniMax games being on Nintendo's platform, especially with Minecraft, it benefits Microsoft. Because if the Game Pass subscriber base is not increasing, then these physical and digital outright sales on other platforms is going to happen. Yeah, Nintendo, Sony, take your percentage cut, but when we get our percentage or whatever we get, that goes into the budget of all of those games. The money that we use for those games, or it goes back to the company so they can continue to making games. I think with them producing games for Switch, they have seen the benefits and the rewards. Just even outside of Minecraft, they've seen like Doom and Wolfenstein and Pentiment and the bug one, Grounded. Those games may not be big, but like people got to talking about those games being on Nintendo's platform, so they probably did get some purchases there. Everybody was expecting Hi-Fi Rush, and even though Hi-Fi Rush wasn't there, it doesn't stop the fact that when we think of Microsoft and Nintendo, we think of that good relationship. It's been, I want to say, it's been proven. There's facts to it. And you see people have been buying their games from Microsoft on those platforms and stuff. So I think with Switch 2 going forward, um, even outside of Call of Duty, we'll see more Activision games. We'll probably see Spyro and Crash and maybe some of their other games coming from Activision. We probably will see more ZeniMax games coming to it. Heck, we may even see Starfield on Switch 2. And I think that might we if they could fix some things with Starfield, and release that game on Switch 2, and probably if they want to put it on PlayStation 5, that's fine. But can you see like Starfield on Switch with, of course, Star Fox? Oh,
yeah.
Starfield with Star Fox, everybody would be like, "Oh, Nintendo, allow Microsoft to do a DLC pack or a campaign mission or something like
or
that."
Like even Amiibo, like Amiibo support. I mean, Skyrim had the Zelda stuff. Like, why can't you like scan in like even Metroid, Star Fox, even Pikmin, Captain Olimar, like like costumes or outfits or armor sets or whatever, right? Like you could totally do that. Why not?
You let Bayonetta wear slutty stuff in Bayonetta.
I mean,
on the first one.
Yikes.
So it's just I mean, and that's an M-rated game. So you can so everybody know that Nintendo could be like, hey, you guys want to put some Star Fox, and people would jump at a lot of people be like, okay, if you guys gonna do Starfield and Star Fox together, you gotta get the X-Wing, or with you gotta get the planes in Flight Simulator. Like if Microsoft did Flight Simulator for Switch 2, everybody's gonna be expecting Star Fox stuff or even Pilot Wings. There's
Pilot Wings, yeah.
There's so much possibilities that Nintendo would, if anybody, Nintendo would let Microsoft do whatever they want to with their IPs. I mean, and the respectable amount, they let them do it exclusive for Nintendo with Mario and Minecraft. Steve was in Smash. Who would have known that would ever happen? Like, I think Microsoft could really will really benefit off of there. Maybe we do see Upres Doom Eternal and Doom, the Doom port, like the Wolfenstein stuff. Like, we could see machine games, come to more machine games come to Switch and everything. Like, there is so many possibilities. And just from, Halo is an Xbox product that belongs to Microsoft, even though Bungie did develop it, that belongs to the Xbox. So we can see that coming. Gears, that was an epic game for Xbox, and then Xbox owned the IP, and now it's under not 343 Studios. Goodness, what is the developer?
What are you talking
Gears.
About? The Coalition.
The Coalition. So like Xbox could try and put those games on there from Xbox Game Publishing. Playground, like Fable would be good on Switch 2. With that, and of course you could do like the Legend of Zelda if you want to. And stuff, or you can have like one of the Zelda games that was on handhelds probably be one of the zones in the game without even having the Legend of Zelda characters in there, even though Legend of Zelda would probably be with Kobe Tech mode because of the Warrior games. But that's a possibility of happening, or heck, well, Nintendo doesn't own Earthbound, but shoot, you think of Nintendo like Earthbound, huh?
Nintendo owns Earthbound.
They do?
Yeah.
I thought. Okay. Maybe it's the creator who left Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, man, shoot, Earthbound could, they could be like, hey, we sold Earthbound. I mean, not Earthbound. Like, I know we sold Rare to you guys, but you think they would be up for doing something?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, like get get those Banjo Kazooie get Rare Replay on the Switch 2, right? Like
yeah.
that's the big one. That's the big one that I am shocked never came to Switch 1 even after this initiative, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think Nitsy will up some money to get Rare Replay and Banjo on Switch soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Banjo 1 and 2 are both on Rare Replay. But like those Xbox versions, they have that full camera support on the right stick, right? As you know, in the ones on the N64 don't, right? Like like they've done so much work to those original games that just make them feel like great new games, you know. And I mean, even heck, throw on nuts and bolts. Who cares? Like,
Right.
whatever. Yeah. All right. I don't really have much more to say about this until we get to rumor mill. I think Xbox supporting the Switch 2 will be smart for them if they're really going to push this multi-platform thing. And
and I think
I'm calling it right now. Master Chief Collection and Doom: The Dark Ages are going to be launch titles for the Switch 2. Master Chief Collection definitely.
I see. I think Doom: Dark Ages. Well, I wonder if Doom: The Dark Ages would team up with who ported the Doom and Doom Eternal?
Panic Button.
Panic Button. I think they would team up with Panic Button again. And I could see that coming down a little bit later. I don't think at launch.
Yeah.
I think later on down the line. I don't think that Doom: The Dark Ages won't come out for Switch 2. I think it will, but I think Panic Button would need time with ZeniMax, with Bethesda to get that to happen. Because I think Panic Button is probably learning the development kit and learning the porting stuff. So I think once they figure things out, they could get up with them and be like, okay, we got the chops, we know the inside out, so maybe there's some stuff we can do to make sure that your game completely gets ported. There's going to be some loss of things, but we could get it working. We can make it a smooth 30 frames per second if need. So this, or whatever the systems develop, the specs are. Like, if they could do that, yeah, I think Panic Button would definitely help them bring out the Doom Dark Ages. But I just don't think at launch.
Yeah.
Master Chief will be interesting. I don't know if that's a launch game though. Maybe the launch went.
I think it will be. I really think it will be. I think that would be like an amazing boost for that franchise of like, oh my gosh, they're launching on a Nintendo platform at launch. You know, I think that would be. I mean, I don't think Nintendo needs it. I think Microsoft needs it to get some excitement surrounding Halo again, especially if that rumored remake of Combat Evolved comes out next year with the launch of the next Xbox, right? Like, it's 25 years of Halo next year, right? They need some sort of excitement around it because it is not. Nobody's excited for Halo right now. Nobody.
So, Master Chief is what, 1 through 4 in Reach?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 Reach and ODST.
So 6 games. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I could see that dropping for Switch as a launch game.
I think Microsoft needs it to be a launch game. I don't think Nintendo needs it to be a launch game, but I think Microsoft wants it to be a launch game. Because, like, I mean, especially like if you're Nintendo and your launch games are whatever the dumb 1-2 Switch equivalent is, which you know is going to exist. Mario Kart, I think a lot of people seem to think Mario Kart is launching with the console, which I think is the smart move to launch with Mario Kart. And then Metroid Prime 4 kind of acting as a de facto launch title, right? Like, having that single player experience and two different, or two or three different types of multiplayer experiences to choose from, that's going to be a great lineup for Nintendo.
I agree with you. I think that like Microsoft got to make it count.
Yeah,
because
they need you know what they need to do? Honestly, they need to work with Nintendo and figure out how to get a Samus skin in there.
Oh yeah. Oh, fully, yes.
Even if it's just for like the 2 remake, right? Like the 2 remake levels. Like you have to figure out how to get a Samus crossover in there with Nintendo. Or at least 100%. Try to do the work to get it in there, because like how much fan art have you seen about with Master Chief and
shoot?
I mean, one of our Boss Rush podcast thumbnails is Master Chief, Doom Guy, and Samus all standing together.
Yeah, and I think this is the equivalent, and this is just me, everybody. When Xbox originally came out, I think Halo came down the line. I don't think it was a launch game, but
wait,
Halo
when Xbox the original Xbox,
Halo Combat Evolved, but the first Halo came out. I think Xbox was art.
Nope, Halo was a launch title. Yes.
Okay,
it was Halo and Fusion Frenzy and the sports, all those weird sports games Xbox put out with all like the players that looked like they belonged in NFL Blitz, but it was like a Madden type game.
Because I didn't know if Halo was in the launch window or if it was day one when the system released. That's what I was trying to figure out with it. Because that's what I'm giving the equivalent of. Like Halo was the system seller for Xbox, the original Xbox. And the Halo Master Chief Collection can be the same thing from a third-party perspective for Nintendo Switch 2, but definitely for Microsoft. Like, it would be so energetic to have that. And no disrespect to Sony or anything, but I'm like, this is the time exclusive for Master Chief. Get that mug on Switch 2 for a time exclusive before you put it on PlayStation 5. And get people to be like, oh, I can now play Halo on the go on a Nintendo. Oh, it got some extra stuff that Microsoft do. Oh, it got some Stamets and Metroid Prime stuff in this month. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And if you want to do it $70, bam, $70 for all the extra content. You got everything from ODST, everything from Halo Reach, all the DLC packs for Halo 4. Like, this is the definitive edition.
Even if you did it digital only, right?
Oh, heck yeah. A shadow drop when the Switch releases. So, dude, the eShop will break. Hopefully.
It would. I mean, I think people would be thrilled to have Halo on Switch 2. I think. I mean, you could put a physical version out later, but like that game is so big anyway. Like you're not gonna fit that all on a cartridge. I
know people going to disagree with me about this, but even if Microsoft add for bonus, aside for that, here's Halo 5. The definitive version of Halo 5, and I'm just saying it as a separate thing, and everything to be like, if because I don't think Halo Infinite will be on Switch 2. Is it possible? Probably. That's all I'm saying. It's a possibility. They can port like the Xbox One X version or Xbox One version if they want to and fix some things. But like, shoot, if they do the Master Chief Collection for release, and to be like, yeah, we're also doing 5 and 6 or Halo Infinite later on down the line, I think people will snag that, and they'd be like, yeah, Halo 5, $40, Halo Infinite, $40.
Yeah, I think $40 for Halo 5 would be great. I mean, yeah, these games need new life.
Yeah.
You know, especially like Halo 5, like, man, what a...
And regardless of what people take away from, because the thing about it, everybody, if Nintendo gets it, it's going to make people go back to the regular one and the Halo 5 and Halo 6 and relook at that, and probably even I don't know if they're on Steam or anything. People are going to go back and look at that. That's going to bring back the interest of Halo. in general. That much touch Nintendo, there's going to be some interest.
Yeah.
Because like Digital Foundry, everybody be like, okay, Digital Foundry, we need the comparisons.
Well,
What's going on?
I think if honest, and this might sound like an exaggeration, but I don't think it is. I think if you put them, at least the Master Chief Collection, on Switch and PlayStation 5, like that's going to be, I would say, anywhere between an extra 5 and 8 million units sold.
Oh, heck
easily across both those platforms. Heck, even throw PlayStation 4 in there. Who cares, right? Like that's that. I mean, if you put it on those three platforms, you could probably get an extra 10 million units out of that. The Master Chief Collection. Easily.
Oh, heck yeah.
Easily at $40, or like even if you did the staggered release like you did on Steam. Remember when they released each one for like $15 individually, or like you could buy the whole collection and then play them as they came out.
Yeah,
like
because Micro knows the ones y'all mugs missions physical.
If there was that collector's that Master Chief UNSC collector's edition Switch image floating around that somebody mocked up. Like, I mean, come on, man. You get some Master Chief Joy-Cons in there,
dude.
Like you get that nasty green and orange, like remember the collector's edition Xbox 360 for Halo 3, that nasty green and orange one.
Yeah.
You get some Joy-Cons that look like that. People would eat that up because they're like, oh man, remember that ugly 360? They got Joy-Cons for that. Or some translucent blue ones for Halo 4. I'm just, you can throw those in there.
Look, Pro Controller, Halo 4, translucent.
Yeah.
Microsoft, here's my money.
That translucent blue controller. Yeah.
If Best Buy, I'd be like, Best Buy, Target, someone, Amazon, whatever. Someone needs to throw this as a pre-order so I can snag it. Please don't make it a GameStop exclusive. No, not that. No, I would be like, I need this as a pre-order because that's coin for Microsoft.
Yeah.
The Joy-Con and Pro Controllers Halo Edition. Oh, that's mad coin for them. Microsoft will be crazy not to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got not only would you get the Nintendo crowd into Halo, the old Halo crowd that's probably, in an older generation, if they could get this, oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Big collectors, oh yeah. This would be a go. Because I feel like this will reignite like I said, it will reignite the interest in Halo. And I think this would make 343 Studios like super excited and proud to be like just as resurgence, like energize us as a team and developers to make us want to go make sure that when we bring out the next Halo or remaster or whatever, that we put our time, effort, and pure love and dedication into this, because you guys as fans make us feel like the Halo franchise is not lost.
Yeah. Plus, like, I was talking about this on Xbox Casuals the other day with Josh, but like, I think Xbox wants to get a lot of these games, like a lot of these 360 era games on modern platforms, which is why, like, I still think that Marcus Phoenix collection of Gears games is coming, or that, Gears Legacy collection, I think is what it's being called now, off of the 360 era. And a Fable collection also being rumored. Like, they want to get at least their first party games off.
Yeah.
Because if they're transitioning into full third party and their hardware does eventually like go away as Xbox as we know it and become some sort of PC based console, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have that 360 backwards compatibility anymore at some point. Like, they can still say, well, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you have these, or you can buy them on the other consoles, right? You can still have these.
Right.
And obviously the big ones I point to are Gears, Fable, and Halo. And Halo already has the Master Chief Collection, so
those three games are Microsoft's Nintendo Triforce of gaming, and Microsoft.
And I mean,
Nintendo.
that's the reason. That's the reason why you're seeing like the rumored. I mean, I think that's why you're seeing the rumored Oblivion remake, the Fallout 3 and New Vegas remasters are rumored. The some of these other games have made it forward, like the Doom 3 was that original Xbox title. And yeah, I think you're just seeing all these games move forward so they can kind of do away with backwards compatibility, to be honest.
Yeah.
In their next boxes. Not that they don't want it there, but like trying to engineer an Xbox 360 into a PC, right? That's going to be really difficult, even for someone like Microsoft to do.
And Microsoft is hoping to make money off the software, not so much as the hardware. The hardware, yes, they want to make money off of that, but that comes from accessories. If they can make money off the accessories just from that what matters to them. It's the software that really counts, because they know that 1 million or 5 million or whatever is good for them. Yeah. They're trying to recoup that development cost, and if these platforms can help them recover it, yeah, why not do it?
Yeah. So that's that. But we're gonna talk. We definitely are gonna talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Let's move on to the rest of these stories real quick, Ed, before we talk more about this, because I do want to get through some of these. We may not spend a lot of time on these, but we talked about this on Nintendo Main the other night. The Celeste developer, Extremely OK Games, has canceled Earthblade, their upcoming game, due to internal struggles. Extremely OK Games, the studio behind Celeste, has announced the cancellation of their next game, Earthblade, citing internal disagreements over Celeste IP rights that caused fractures within the team. Despite efforts to resolve the conflict, co-founders Maddie Thorson and Noel Berry decided the project was no longer worth pursuing, especially given the struggles and exhaustion associated with the development. Moving forward, the team is shifting focus towards smaller scale projects, aiming to rediscover the joy of game development with a more organic approach. The team has split, and this comes from Push Square, so you can kind of go over there and read the rest of the article. But that sucks for that studio. I don't like seeing stuff like this. This happened with the team behind Limbo and Inside too, remember?
Yeah.
So yeah, that really sucks.
Yeah. And I do what I do like about the story that he was just like, do not they said, do not attack this person. If you attack them, you are not welcome in our community and stuff. They were just like, yeah, it didn't work out. We had a disagreement about something. And that person left the company and formed his new studio, and they said they were excited to play his next game. So there's still a respect level, but they just didn't agree. And I don't think it was like, I don't think it was like any ill will or anything. I think they just like, they kind of went their separate ways, and hopefully in the future,
if you have a disagreement, that's how it should be, right? You don't have to hate the person, right? Like, that's
right. And it was just like, don't attack their company because of our decision to cancel the game,
right?
Yeah.
So good for them on that part. It does kind of suck to like not, see their next game, but this stuff happens, and I'm glad it seems amicable for the most part, aside from probably some loud conversations internally, we'll say. But all right, our next story, Ed. Nintendo's getting a nomination. Nintendo gets a nomination for its trans representation in Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake for Switch. the Paper Mario remake has been nominated for the 36th annual GLAAD, GLAAD, Media Awards for restoring the trans identity of one of the characters, Vivian, originally altered in the 2004 GameCube release. It joins 9 other nominees for Outstanding Video Game category, recognizing diverse and inclusive representation in gaming. You can go to the glad.org website to see the rest of the nominations, but that's cool. I think Nintendo has largely been adverse to including any type of political conversations in their games, right? Like,
yeah,
whether they're for one side or another, they've always just wanted to stay out of it, and
right.
That's respectful. I respect them for that, and not wanting to have a say in all this, right? But like, it's cool that they got nominated, and I don't know if they'll win, because a lot of these other games seem to be aimed towards that kind of message specifically. But it's cool that they got nominated, and it's cool that they restored that character. And it wasn't like a, I think how they did it right. It wasn't like the focal point of the entire game. They just kind of normalized it, which is what, I think as a society we should be doing, is normalizing things like this. And, I think sometimes, and this is, just from outside looking in, obviously I don't have a very good kind of understanding of a lot of this, but like, sometimes I think the louder one side gets, the more annoyed the other side gets, and that's what causes so much tension. And how many people even blinked twice at this because it wasn't the focal point of the game, right? So I'm not saying that message shouldn't exist. I think it definitely should. I think the opposite problem happened with Dragon Age, for example. They made so much of that game the focal point of these things that, like, I think a large section of people who may or may not have been interested were just annoyed because they're, because one side was loud and the other side got annoyed, right? Like, that's just the sad truth of this industry and this world in general, and I'm glad Nintendo has been, I'm glad Nintendo got the nod, because they have never really been a part of this conversation.
Yeah.
And I think how they did it and how they handled it was a great way to handle it, I guess, is what I'm saying. We have a lot of LGBTQ friends, right? Including you, Ed, right? Like, and we have a lot of, we have a few trans friends who we support and want to, have their message heard the way, in any way that we can help. I just think that the reality of the world, sadly, is that, again, the louder one side is, the more annoyed the other side gets, and then that side becomes loud, and then the other side gets annoyed and becomes, and that's how
it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's an awful cycle, and now we see where we're at now in terms of the political landscape, and
Yeah, I know me, and I won't spend too much time on this topic because I know we got a lot to talk about. But it's me and Andre was talking last week before you got on the show, Corey, for a special pass. I was asking them. It's just like, people love to use negativity to get attention, to get views, to rile people up so that they could get a response. And for them to do it on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, that leads to money. That leads to, a reward for them. So they would do everything in their power to get the attention. Look at Ghost of Yotai or any game having a female protagonist. People want to use this agenda or this idea to get engagement, because the more views and engagements they get, the more likely they're going to get paid out for something. And they hate it when you make them starve. Mm-hmm. So I say this because with this nomination, it's a great thing that Nintendo got recognized for their decision. It's not big, it's nothing major, and if you make it something big, then that's on you. Nintendo does not care. There's more factors into this game. It's a remake of a remaster of a game from 2004. Nintendo's not even thinking about the past of 2004. They're thinking of the current, and how they can market this game and get the sales out of it. That's all they care about. And hopefully people enjoy it and everything. This is such a minor thing to them that if you want to make it a thing, that's on you.
Yeah.
Just know that you...
I was going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, if you engage with Nintendo, they're not going to engage you back because they really don't care,
Right. They'll engage. You mess with their stuff, and that cease and desist is going to come down.
Well, yeah, if you use their footage in a negative way, right? Like, they're going to come after you for using they're going to come after you for using the footage, not for like the message. Right? They're not going to engage with you about your message versus their message because they don't care what you have to say. I think that's apparent with everything Nintendo does. They don't care what the media has to say. They don't care what you have to say, to an extent, right? They don't care. They march by the beat of their own drum, right? Mm-hmm. Even the Switch 2 reveal, right? Everybody's like, Nintendo's losing the market. Nintendo's losing their messaging. And they're like, we'll talk about it when we're ready, right?
Right.
And like, it took them a year and some change to release a trailer for the Switch 2. And it's like, oh yeah, here's what it looks like. We'll talk more about it in April when we're ready, right?
Right.
Okay, they've always been like that, and it doesn't matter if it's worked out for them or not in the past. They've always been like that.
Yeah.
For everything. So what makes you think that this is going to be any different when somebody tries to engage in it? So
right.
Oh man, Ed, what a
world we live in.
Huh. Yeah, don't remind me. All right, our next story, Edward. So Surgent Studios, the studio behind Tales of Kenzara Zao, is working on a new horror game. But there's a twist. It is being published by the Palworld developer Pocketpair. Surgent Studios, the developer behind Tales of Kenzara Zao, has partnered with Palworld publisher and developer Pocketpair for a, quote, short horror game set to release later this year. The project will explore a unique topic and serve as a creative detour for the returning before returning to their Tales of Kenzara universe, according to CEO Abu Bakr Salim, who you may know as the voice of Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. He's in Game of Thrones. He's an actor. He's a pretty well-known actor as well. So, anyways, he Pocketpair is publishing and aiming to support creators like Abu Bakr in Surgent Studios, helping bring bold and unconventional ideas to life. This comes from Eurogamer, so you can check that out for more. That site out for more on this. The link is in the show notes. You can check that out as well.
It's cool. That's all I gotta say. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, Pocketpair, obviously, Palworld did amazing numbers and sold a ton of copies. That they have a little bit of cash to try something different and new, and publishing.
Seems
to be,
it's the Yacht Club effect. Yacht Club made a lot off Shovel Knight for them to publish some other games. From
so good on them.
Yes,
good on them. But that's it for the headlines, Ed. There's a wrap up we can look at real quick, but I don't really have anything to say about it. Really, EA has reported disappointing sales numbers due to the decline in revenue from EA Football Club 25 and the underperformance or quote failure of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Electronic Arts reported that Dragon Age: The Veilguard engaged approximately 1.5 million players during the quarter, falling nearly 50% short of the company's expectations. The underperformance contributed to a downward revision of EA's financial outlook, and the company now forecasting fiscal third quarter net bookings of $2.2 billion. Only $2.2 billion, Ed. Below the previous $2.4 billion that they initially thought. The shortfall was primarily attributed to the weaker than expected sales of Dragon Age: The Veilguard and EA Sports FC franchise. So, yeah, I mean,
and the thing with Veilguard is that people dragged it for the way that the game looked, and but the game is very good. It's very fun, very funny, great characters. I bought the game day one, installed it, played it for about a month, did everything for it. Great story, and it really showcased that BioWare was back, and got my hopes up. Really happy for the next Mass Effect game. But yeah, people were just like getting on the game for its looks and stuff, and I'm just like, you guys just they learned DICE's engine and put it to really good use, and I think people just judged it. It should have sold more. And it's just a really fun action role playing game. It really is. And you do care about the characters, and it's a great story. Like, you really get somewhat invested into it. And I just love that game. I thought it was one of 2024's biggest games. It's on my game of the year list of the top 10, and I just enjoyed that game.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people did, right? I mean, a lot of people that we know did. And just it's just a shame that it I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff that people were saying annoyed a lot of people too about it. I don't know. It's that conversation we just had, right? Of like, I feel like people were leaning into the quote unquote wokeness of the game instead of just looking at the game itself and seeing how fun it looked, or like how it played or whatever. And I honestly think that hurt the game a little bit. And I don't know. I feel bad because I think a lot of the people that did play it really seem to have liked it a lot. And that tells me that that's a good game, right? But like,
yes,
I don't know. I just feel like it's the same conversation that comes up it's going to happen with Assassin's Creed Shadows also, right? Like, it's going to happen with a lot of other games, unfortunately, that are coming. It just, the conversation, this is the problem when you make every single thing political, right? Like, it can't just exist and be fun,
Yeah.
And I think that just made this game stand out a little bit in a way that negatively affected it, unfortunately. And it sucks because I don't think the game really deserved that. And I don't think, I mean, I haven't played it. I don't care about Dragon Age, so I wasn't going to play it anyway, but it just kind of sucks because I do care about BioWare and Mass Effect, and how's this going to affect Mass Effect moving forward, and how is this going to affect BioWare in general moving forward. You know, it just really sucks.
Yeah.
So I hope Dragon Age gets another kind of, I don't know what you call it. I was going to say lease on life, but that's not right.
I hope people surpass their expectations and go pick up the game and play it for themselves.
Yeah,
It's one of those when people said, what's a game that everybody didn't enjoy but you did? It's one of those. I'm like, this is a thing. Mm-hmm. This is a game that certain people made judgment about this game to once again get attraction and already plan not to play the game. And when people are saying that, no, play this game, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to love it, people are recommending it, there's still questions about it. And it's just like, you have to get this game and play it for yourself. I'm like, you got to make that decision if you're going to like it or not. But I'm like, you got to give it a chance, not because someone else said so, who already planned on not playing it and everything. You got to go and get that decision, whether you get it on the sale or someone gift it to you. You have to play this game for yourself and give it a try.
Yeah. So, I hope I really hope this doesn't affect BioWare at all. Right. It's just sad. Just sad to see. So,
because trust me, BioWare EA has learned what happens when they get their greedy hands on something.
Yeah. Well, Ed, now that we're done with the news, we should probably jump into this rumor mill because there's a lot to talk about here.
Oh, yes.
Especially about Microsoft in particular. More from that Phil Spencer interview. Wow. But also some other games that have been rumored to be maybe coming to the Switch 2. There is a link from Go Nintendo, although they source out to a couple other places, which is, more, if it was just them, I wouldn't have put this in here, but they have, been kind of keeping up with some of this rumored Switch to titles coming. And so the rumored titles right now, the updated rumors have included Elden Ring, Starfield, Fallout 4, Diablo 4, Doom the Dark Ages, and Ninja Gaiden 4, and South of Midnight. So, which most of those are Xbox published games or Bethesda games. So, the Switch 2 was officially revealed last week, and while more details will come in a Nintendo Direct on April 2nd, rumors about software support are intensifying. Insider Extasys, I don't know, known for accurately leaking Game Pass titles frequently, has suggested that major games like Diablo 4, Call of Duty, Fallout 4, Starfield, and Elden Ring will come to the platform, along with Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and Tekken 8. While these titles remain unconfirmed, the growing number of leaks has raised hopes that this impressive lineup may be true. Doom the Dark Ages, Ninja Gaiden 4, and South of Midnight are also rumored after Xbox's Developer Direct, meaning Xbox might be the biggest publisher on the platform other than Nintendo. Man, some of these we already knew about, right? Like Master Chief Collection, Flight Simulator, Tekken 8. We talked about those at some point.
Yeah.
I think Elden Ring makes sense because it's a PS4 game, right? I think it'll run fine on the Switch 2. Having that on the go, and we also saw how well Dark Souls Remastered did, right? When it came out. So, but some of these other titles, obviously Xbox promised Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms with the FCC, right? When they purchased that. Diablo 4, I think that's a slam dunk because Diablo 3, I mean, look how well Diablo 3 did on the Switch.
Yes.
Even, 5-6 years after it came out. Fallout 4, I think, makes sense just because it's also a PS4 game. Starfield is the big question for me, just because that game is so large.
Yeah.
Although, again, we don't know the official specs of the Switch 2, but it just seems out there.
So,
Doom and Ninja Gaiden makes sense. South of Midnight makes sense. That's a small game, right? So
compulsion games, which is, I think South of Midnight is a weird one because that would be like the first compulsion game on Nintendo's platform.
That's not true. Contrast is on there. Contrast is on Switch.
Was Contrast?
It was a PS4 launch game, and it was on PS Plus at launch for PS4.
But it wasn't under Microsoft brand, right?
No.
No. Okay.
No, but it's there are other compulsion games on Switch. Is my
okay. I think that was the thing about it. I'm thinking about I know We Happy Few, because they had advertised that was going to be on a lot of platforms before Microsoft brought them. So that's why I'm thinking South of Midnight being a weird one because of that being a compulsion game under Microsoft. I thought like We Happy Few would be on the platform, be something that they would want to put out.
Yeah, but to me, Compulsion, it being such a small studio and that game being very niche, I guess, and small, like they would want to get that out to as many platforms as possible, like to just to get sales for that game,
right? Because it is an action adventure game, so it's just a weird. I think because it's a compulsion game. That's the only reason that I have for it, because I just thought they didn't have anything out on Switch. Fallout 4
where are the Psychonauts rumors? Where's
okay?
I can't believe Psychonauts 1 and 2 are not on Switch yet. I'm just saying, the way, I mean, putting these games out on other platforms, like, especially because that game is already out on PlayStation 4, right? Like, that game came out on PlayStation 4 when it came out. So, like, where's the Switch version?
Yeah. Yeah, Double Fine is a weird one also. I think
I'll take a Psychonauts collection and I'll take a Costume Quest collection, please.
Yeah, because Costume Quest is on Switch, I believe.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh. I didn't
maybe.
Know
that. Yeah, Fallout 4 just doesn't seem right on Switch for some reason, because I don't know, Fallout. I thought that would have been the game that Microsoft would have put on that system a long time ago.
Well,
Switch.
If they're remastering these games, right? I think they want definitive editions of these games out there, and Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim got 3 definitive editions, right? And
yeah,
so like, I know Fallout already has all 3 of those games already have Game of the Year editions, but like,
yeah.
They're going to make a definitive edition of those games, right? In my opinion. And I think those are the games you're going to see on Switch too, are those weird definitive re-releases.
I could see Tekken 8 being on the system because of Nintendo's and Bandai Namco's relationship. So that's that would be cool. Even so, Caliber past titles, that would be also cool. Elden Ring, once again, Bandai Namco relationship and Front Software. It might be like the definitive edition with the DLC. Wouldn't make sense of not having that there. Because that game is on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So I can see that on Switch 2. Yeah, it's just a Fallout 4 one. It's just a weird one out for me. Everything else is doable. Definitely Diablo 4 and Call of Duty would be a part of it. Ninja Gaiden 4. I would have to see how technical Ninja Gaiden 4 is going to be, but possible. Doing the Dark Ages, like we talked about earlier, Panic Button, helping with the port, I could see that happen. Yeah, and then South to Midnight.
I think just with Platinum's kind of relationship with Nintendo, they would definitely try to get that on, you know?
Yeah. Shoot, with Nintendo's relationship with Microsoft Platinum and Team Ninja, like I said earlier, that would happen. South to Midnight is, like I said, I think South to Midnight, if that did happen, I think that would be like a year and a half after the game is released.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think these games are going to be, all of these are going to be there at launch. I think you'll see them over time, because I do think Microsoft wants to, like, at least some of these games have them as platform exclusives for at least a little bit, right? Like,
yes.
I mean, I know they're going to put things on other platforms, but I do think they want to try to keep some of these as platform exclusives.
Because, like, Perfect Dark, people probably be like, well, whenever that game gets together, Microsoft, you're going to do any porting to that? Mm-hmm. And Microsoft probably be like, nah, we're going to keep it on our platform and Steam and Windows PC, which I would be fine with. Would have no problem with it. But I'm like, I think you should probably try giving this a Switch, because you got the original Perfect Dark from Rare on the NSO. So, you know, might want to continue that. What I would be surprised, though, if they brought Killer Instinct Definitive to Switch.
Yeah. Or there's that rumor that Bandai Namco was making Killer Instinct 2. Remember that rumor that was floating around for a while?
Mm-mm.
And then it just never materialized? Yeah. That was a rumor going around for a long time.
I wonder what happened to the team that did make it, the remake Killer Instinct? Did they go out of business?
Well, Double Helix was the original team that made Killer Instinct for Xbox One. They were bought by Amazon Games.
Okay.
And then closed because Amazon doesn't know how to manage studios or make games. And then Iron Galaxy did season 2. And then they didn't make another season because they were doing other things. But then Iron Galaxy came back and did that definitive 10th anniversary re-release on Xbox Series consoles. Iron Galaxy is, kind of been the steward of that game for a little bit.
They did the remaster for Metroid Prime, right?
Yes, they did.
Oh, then I could. Yeah. Then I could see them doing Killer Instinct for it.
Yeah. So.
For Switch 2? Oh, heck yeah. Iron Galaxy doing that. Finish Metro Prime 2 and 3, Galaxy, IG. Get that done. And then give us Killer Instinct. Or Killer Instinct 2.
Yeah.
Because right now, Microsoft need a fighter. And, Killer Instinct would be a good one. You got it. You got the... Is both versions on NSO? I think both versions on Switch or NSO.
What? Killer Instinct?
Killer Instinct 64 or Killer Instinct 2 and no, I don't think Killer Instinct 2 is on there. I think just Killer Instinct for Super Nintendo is on there.
Huh.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna want some fighting games on here, right? Like, I think you're gonna want.
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter 6 is a shoe-in. I think, Tekken 8 is a shoe-in. Mortal Kombat or Killer Instinct seems like a. I still think it seems like a no-brainer, especially if you want to get like a little bit more life out of that game. And if they're gonna potentially announce a sequel at the Xbox Summer Showcase this year, like, drop some hype for that by releasing it on Switch, And
people gotta think about with the mouse pad, the mouse controller stuff.
Yeah.
I
mean, that could make things like Doom really interesting, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Because, like, you could have a Joy-Con in one hand and have analog stick movement with mouse aiming, and that's going to change a lot of the ways people think about shooters, you know, because I think people prefer the analog movement, right? But prefer mouse aiming, you know, in terms of like hardcore shooter people, right? And
Right.
so like you could have the best of both worlds there in terms of shooters. So just an idea. Marvel Rivals is also rumored to be coming.
Oh yeah, I can see
But
that.
I think that's also a shoe in. I don't think that's a hard thing to grasp at all. So I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of Microsoft stuff start slowly coming over. I think you're going to see Sea of Thieves come over. I think you're going to see
Halo Wars.
The outer Halo Wars would be awesome with the mouse. Like, yeah, Halo Wars 1 and 2 definitive editions would be great. Especially if you're going to bring the Master Chief collection over, why not? You know?
Oh shit, you already know that EA gonna be like, let's get the Sims on this mug, the Sims 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, but like for Microsoft, I'm like, y'all got a PC market for strategy games.
I mean, they almost have it completely cornered outside of XCOM, right? They have Halo Wars 1 and 2. They have Age of Empires, Age of Mythology. You know what? I mean, Ara History Untold is their new kind of real-time strategy game, right? Like the only things they don't have are Civ and XCOM, really, that kind of take that space.
Yeah.
Total War, I guess, you know, from Creative Assembly, but they don't seem to be doing Total War games right now. They're doing that Alien Isolation sequel. And they also, you know, maybe hopefully someday we'll do Halo Wars 3, but you know, I played Halo Wars 2 and really liked it after Luke Lore, friend of show Luke Lore, who runs Xbox Expansion Pass podcast.
Yes,
he championed it for like 3 years in a row on that show. But yeah, I those would be really cool to see on the Switch too, to be honest.
It's just a killer instinct for the Super Nintendo, everybody. For NSO. It's not too. So yeah, Microsoft got a lot that they could bring. Definitely with just like Activision and ZeniMax that they own, and like that is that would be. I mean, to get the home and PC play.
Yeah.
All in one? Heck yeah. Oh, go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that opens up the potential for more collections too. Like, I mean, I think if Nintendo doesn't put out like a true new Zelda game for a while, like having a Fable collection on the Switch would hold a lot of people over. You know, I know they're not exactly the same, but they're similar enough to hold people over, right? Like, or, you know, a Gears collection would be awesome on the Switch too, right? Like, I still think that Legacy collection is what they're calling it now, to put Judgment in there. I also think 4 is supposedly going to be included in that too, but you know, I think it's time. Gears Tactics would be awesome. Speaking of
heck yeah,
mouse games, like geez, Gears Tactics would be awesome on that thing. I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of smart decisions here Microsoft can make, and I mean other companies too. I mean, we talked about Elden Ring, like that's a no-brainer to me. Elden Ring on the Switch, right? I mean, Elden Ring. You can look at Square Enix and say like you can finally put the real versions of Kingdom Hearts on this thing. You look at Capcom, and like Capcom was the other rumor kind of floating around too of like all of the remakes coming over to Switch too in like a real fashion.
Like definitely with Onimusha 1 being on Switch, I'm like we're gonna put 2 and 3 on there. Also, I wouldn't be surprised to see Devil May Cry 5 or you know, Devil May Cry. I don't think 4 is on Switch. But like Devil May Cry 4 and 5 on Switch too, I can see that happening. Even though DMC 4 like
yeah, I think you could start seeing a lot of these collections, especially of games or like the remakes of. I think getting Resident Evil those Resident Evil remakes on this console would be huge
Mm-hmm.
for them.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going. I'm just kind of going through the lists of games in my head of like, especially the cloud games that came to Switch 1.
Oh,
like
heck yeah.
Getting either physical or just local downloaded copies on. Like,
Control and Alan Wake? Oh,
yeah.
heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Wake Remastered was on Switch 1, but like Control was a cloud game. But if you get Control and Alan Wake 2 right on Switch 2 in some capacity,
and they got the Ultimate Edition for Control, so I mean, why not? Because the cloud version isn't the Ultimate Edition. That's like just the cloud version. Yeah, you get Ultimate Edition on there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things people can look at and say, we got to do this. We need to get these games on there in some capacity. Even if they don't sell right away, like these games are going to have tails, right? They're going to have long tails. And I think, especially with a series like Resident Evil, you've already hit the numbers you expected to hit and beyond. Like putting a little bit of effort and porting it into the Switch 2 and just having them there available, that's essentially going to be free money for a while for them, right? Like anything that sells there is going to be free money for them.
Because it's going to be, it's like you said earlier, it's the pick up and play mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. It's on my system. It's on my regular SD card or SSD or whatever. I can pick up and go and have fun, and then still put it on my TV when I feel like wanting to play it. But I got a bus or train ride, and I feel like I need to kill a few hours or time. Bam! It's right there. I can play this big game on my Switch too.
Right, and I'm looking. I was thinking about getting a Steam Deck for a while, or like a ROG Ally or something, right? Like just because I like portable gaming, and I thought it might be especially the Steam Deck might be a little bit easier to like handle than a full blown PC. Like a ROG Ally like seems just like a nightmare to use, even though Laurent's walked me through it like 4 or 5 times, and I just can't wrap my mind around it. But like I saw somebody trying to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth running on the Steam Deck, and I'm just like, this looks like, and they got it running right, like, and it looks great, it runs great, but I'm like, getting that all set up just seems like a nightmare, and you got to do that for every single game. Like, no thanks. No,
I heard that game is like problematic on PC, or it's something rough about that game on PC.
Yeah, well, I mean, Square's PC ports haven't always been the best, right? I mean, they just haven't. But I mean, like if you get those games on Switch 2, that, or like, Final Fantasy, like the games that I'm surprised aren't on Switch yet are the 13 trilogy and 15. I mean, 15 maybe not, but like, like if you can get those games on Switch, and 16 and 7 remake, and like be able to have these popular franchises that Nintendo hasn't previously been able to run, and have them there, like Nintendo's in a position to be extremely dominant, especially in areas like Japan, but also like here, like people who prefer handheld gaming, or like the ability to have the option of handheld gaming, right?
Yes.
Like they're in a position to really just do more than the Switch ever could, right? And like that's where I see this thing being more successful than the Switch at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Is because like it's sitting in, and I know Nintendo probably didn't really mean for this to happen, but like Nintendo has always waited to be at a hardware level that makes them money, right? When they sell a console.
Yes.
They've never been one to, they haven't eaten any costs on a console since the N64.
Yeah.
And like since then, every console they've manufactured, it's been underpowered, but that's because they make money on it. And now we look at these bloated budgets of PlayStation and Xbox, and these third-party companies and how much money these games cost and how many units they need to sell, that having Nintendo there, like being another option for them to have their games on, now that these games are extremely scalable in the way that the graphics work in this decade with like scalability, and you can have the highest end PC and have it look like this, or you can have like a low end PC or low end console and it look like this, right? Like,
yes,
I think you look at something like Halo Infinite is a great example of, it runs on a base Xbox One, right? But it also runs on an Xbox Series X, and look how similarly they run, but look how differently they run, right? Like, it's the same game, but it looks different, it runs a little bit different, but it still plays the same,
right.
And I think that's the area where the Switch 2 will fall in, is like, it's just going to be the lower end console that people buy, right? And like, oh, it's cheaper. Oh, well, more people will buy it because it's cheaper. Oh, well, I can play these games that are on these other consoles over here. Well, I'll definitely buy it here because, as we've learned in the we'll call it the Netflix era of entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Convenience always beats quality. It doesn't matter, right? Unless you're like super hardcore about something, convenience always beats quality, right? If the console is conveniently cheaper, Switch 2 is $400, the Xbox is $500 or $600, PlayStation 5 Pro is $700. You're going to do the math and say, oh, well, this console has the same games. And this is a normal person, by the way, just like a normal person walking in the store. Yeah. Oh, this handheld plugs into my TV and it runs all the same games as those consoles. And, I can take it with me if I really want to. I might as well just buy the $400 version and spend that extra $300 on games or something, right? Or like accessories or, something of that nature, right? Like, I don't know, man. I think technologically, scalability, pricing, Nintendo has found themselves in a really good position to succeed. And I am very interested to see which companies take advantage of that and which ones don't, and which ones, I mean, what was the rumor that Ubisoft has like somewhere between 6 and 12 games ready to go for Switch 2 at launch?
Yeah.
Or like within the launch window? I can tell you exactly what games those are. I bet half of them are Assassin's Creed games. Of course. I bet one of them is a Mario plus Rabbids Definitive Edition collection.
Sure, I wouldn't be surprised if they had Mario Rabbids 3 almost ready to go.
I mean, that would be awesome if they did. I wonder if there's a Splinter Cell collection or another Assassin's Creed collection of like Syndicate and Unity, or Valhalla and Mirage, I think, are ones that are rumored. Shadow is said to be in development for Switch 2 but not ready at launch, which is fine. If it is coming to Switch, I will wait to play it on Switch too.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm not gonna buy it on Xbox if I can play it on Switch too, and that's a me thing. I get it, but like, I want to play as many games on one console as possible, right? We just had that conversation. So if it's coming to Switch 2, I will wait for it. It's why I haven't bought Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth yet, because it has been rumored to be coming to Xbox and Switch 2 for so long. And I'm like, I might as well hold out for it now.
Which I thought that was going to be there Thursday, and it didn't show up. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. There was... Yeah, Tom Warren was very adamant that Final Fantasy was going to be there. Announced on Thursday for Xbox. Like 7, 16, those games.
Was Rebirth announced for Thursday for PC?
I think it's out on PC now.
Yeah, was that announced? That was announced way back
That was
then.
announced. That was announced in like
Okay.
November, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I just Nintendo's really positioned themselves to be super successful and have that third party support that we've always wanted them to have, and
Yes.
now create games, in a way that that extra power is going to allow them to be more creative, right? I don't know, man. I'm just really excited to see if some of these rumors are true. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm beyond excited to play a lot of these on Switch too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. It's just good business all around. I mean, for the gamers, the business doesn't matter. It's just the games that matters to us. But I'm like, for a lot of companies, it's going to be like Switch 2 is the place where we have to get our games on, because if there is a possibility of us selling well on Switch 2 compared to the other platforms outside of PC, why not get it there?
Uh-huh.
We mentioned with Microsoft, why not get there? They wanna, you could laugh at that. This is an Xbox campaign, but they mean it, and it's going to end up working for them.
Yeah.
If it pays off, they could get those games on those platforms.
Yeah.
Once again, people made fun of Xbox is going on PlayStation, but I'm like, well, the PlayStation community have to pay the $60 for these games. That's money for Microsoft. So who you laughing at? Because Microsoft is making the money. Y'all paying to give it to Microsoft. Yeah. So the same thing gonna be with Nintendo fans. We want to play Microsoft games on our system. We're gonna pay for it. Microsoft is getting the business, so they're the one that's laughing to the bank.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be too long before you start seeing PlayStation port some of their older, smaller games over to Switch 2 either, right?
Sure,
they're definitely not going to give Xbox any games because they're just going to stick it to them, right? They want to watch Microsoft die, but
they'll give them MLB, and that's about it.
I think you could see like a Jak and Daxter trilogy collection.
On Switch? Oh, yeah.
Or like Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper come over to Switch at some point. Because the Sackboy's Big Adventure, I think you could see come over. Like, there's quite a few games I think you could see.
The topic that we spoke about on the Boss Rush podcast, it's with the live service thing with Sony, they know that thing is not working. Everybody's been talking about it, and they've been talking about single players and everything. God. Look, PC companies or the PC version of games have jumped on Switch, like with Civilization and all of these other ones. And that's been working major for them, making them money. If you don't think Sony is if Sony doesn't go the route of Microsoft and try to get more of their games on Switch 2, they're missing out on money.
Yeah.
They're going to be missing out on so much, where Microsoft is once again gonna be laughing at the bank with good business because they decided to put their games on that platform. And for us, like as Nintendo fans and collectors or whatever, we know that if we want more of these versions and these games to come, we're going to have to show the support. Microsoft and Sony, the third parties who put games on their systems, they we just talked about Dragon Age the Veilguard didn't meet expectations. Guess what? EA still gonna put something out on those platforms. If that was to happen to Nintendo, EA would have stopped automatically putting games on Nintendo and just said, well, we respect Nintendo, but we don't think our business is there.
Yeah.
And EA has learned that, because guess who been all of those companies who have continued to put their stuff on Switch and was making money. EA really had to feel embarrassed, because I'm like,
you heard what I mean. Okay. You heard what Bobby Kotick said on his way out of Activision. He said their biggest regret was not getting Call of Duty on Switch.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but by the time like they realized the Switch was going to be a huge success, porting their engine down, it was going to take that much time to get it running, So they just didn't. But I mean, Activision supported the Switch more than anybody else, almost, you can say,
Yeah, they
with
support them.
Crash and Spyro and Overwatch, and they
But
put a lot of stuff out there.
they would have to be forced. I feel like they had to be forced to do that because
I don't think they were
Switch.
forced to do anything.
Well, this is because this is the thing about it. It's that EA. I mean, not EA. Activision was making money off of PC and Microsoft and Sony platforms. But you're seeing a Switch hit NPDs, not only in games, but in hardware. And you didn't jump on that in advance? Way in advance? That's crazy. If you see one console hit an NPD at number one month per month for 2+ years, yeah, okay, Overwatch and Diablo 3. Okay, they came out a little bit later. It takes time to learn the platform. That's completely fine. But I'm just like, this thing is still selling year after year after year after year after year. And we don't really got much on this platform. Oh, shoot. I would have been like, oh, 2017, they sold how much? Yeah, we need to make an engine or we need to learn something so we get our games on this. Let's not wait for 6 or 7 months after the game came out for the other platforms. Day one, if it's coming on the Xbox and PlayStation, it needs to be on the Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You better make Tony Hawk skate in this mug and help us make this game.
Yeah, I think after the launch window of the Switch 2, if you want your game to come to Switch at all, it needs to be the same day and date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's some like super technical online thing that Nintendo needs to fix their online service for, which it's very possible, unfortunately. But they need it. It's not the power parity isn't as drastic this time. They need to figure it out. So I know I've made a lot of excuses for these companies because of that in the past, right? But I don't think there's an excuse this time.
Yeah.
So
if companies have not learned that, we've seen once again I said all those success stories that came from Switch. If people didn't pick up on it, that is on them. Once Microsoft seen the sell numbers for Minecraft, they were just like, yeah, we may want to be doing something more with Nintendo. And look how that mug has paid off. And so that's why I think people now are looking for, like, personally, like for me, if Microsoft does put out more of their games on Switch, on Nintendo's platforms, I'm down for it to support them. Mm-hmm. Whether, regardless if that game is going to be good or not good, or, like I said, I would have to play through it to get a good idea about it. But I'm down for Microsoft doing it and supporting them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
So if the rumors come out to be true, then the rumors come out to be true.
Yeah.
They would have my coins, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we will find out sooner than later, as they say.
Yes.
Man, I am gonna take a sippy sip of this water.
Yeah. I will say before we move on, like I know Xbox 360, Xbox One got a good library, and there's probably some games that could possibly also come to Switch. Switch 2. I hope that does happen. If Microsoft want like literally go back in their back pocket of catalog of games, do it. And if that, once again, Lost Odyssey, Blue
Oh yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah, get those
These
games on here. Last Story, right?
that story. These are the games that, because they didn't do, regardless of whatever they did during that time, you this is the time to get them out. You didn't do it for Switch. Switch 2 is the time to get them out. You already know that those communities are huge on the Nintendo platform. You want to make shoot, they're going to be huge on Switch 2, and they're going to make that game huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I agree. So
shoot, the last story, that would be the one.
The Last Story remastered coming to Switch.
Oh,
dude.
This is the thing, and I know we're going to move on, Corey. This is the thing about it. For people who missed it, just the way that people talked about Earthbound, how people missed it and why so many people love it. This is going to be the same thing with The Last Story.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like, why did I not get this on Wii? I'm like, yeah. Because probably because you didn't think that we had any RPGs, and probably because you was into the other systems and thinking that the Wii was a kiddie system. Perception, once again.
Yeah. Well, Ed, it's we're gonna find out soon enough. You know?
Yeah. And if they do The Last Story remaster, I need a collector's edition.
Yeah, put that art book in that you put in with the Wii version.
Yes.
Heck yeah. Make it happen. Why not? But other than that, I guess we should probably move on. That was a good discussion though. I've enjoyed it immensely. I could talk about Xbox on Nintendo all night, but since we've already been going for 3.5 hours, let's get into Pack Watch, Ed.
Pack Watch.
These are the games you can purchase on your Nintendo Switch that aren't reissued anime or hentai games or AI, created trash. The Cuisineer on 128, a super cute and tasty roguelite flavored dungeon crawler. Explore a lush world and defeat monsters with your trusty spatula and some boba tea. Then gather delicious ingredients and bring them home to cook and serve at your restaurant. This sounds like Moonlighter a little bit.
It is. In a way, yes. So, I did play this at PAX West. And it is available on PC. I had a great time with it. I played it on the day that we were leaving. You had left that day. It was that Monday, I think. Okay. I played it there because it was in Playism's booth, and I didn't get a chance to like really play it. But I seen it, and I'm just like, oh, this was on the Nintendo Direct, like the Indie Direct. It was like, yeah, and so I played it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm super excited to play this game on Switch when it drops. The RPG element is kind of easy because you fight animals to collect ingredients, and then you go and make food and do orders and stuff. So it is like an action sim, like you said, roguelike kind of game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm excited to play this finally when it releases on Switch. The version I played was the PC version, but I was getting an idea of this game, and so I'm super excited that this game is releasing for Switch. That's one thing I got to give to Playism. They were really huge. Sorry, everybody, for the PAX talk. They were really huge at PAX West. But their game, everything that they brought, a lot of their games was super, super fun.
Cool. All right. Also on 128, Neptunia Riders versus Dogoos. Dogus. This is an action game in which players assume the role of a goddess attempting to free her friends from the strange spell. Players ride motorcycles, complete missions, collect creatures, and battle various opponents. Great.
Yeah. And I would leave it at that.
Also on 128, Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter. As Arlo, young heir to the Warden of the Wastes, journey through the vast, snow-ravaged lands of the North in an epic quest to overcome the Dark Wings once and for all. Hunt down giant beasts, unite disparate clans, and upgrade your settlement. Also on 128, The Stone of Madness. The Stone of Madness is a real-time tactical stealth game set in 18th century Spanish monastery. Located in the Pyrenees, the time-worn Jesuit monastery is home to a madhouse and an inquisitorial prison. Great. Sounds scary. Also on 128, Warside. Warside is an action tactics game with a bias towards fluid skirmishes and away from turtling. We're turn-based and fast-paced. All factions have stalemate, breaking units for disrupting front lines. Jeez, this Steam description. Production changes encourage higher tier units to see more play. This feels like a Google translated description. On 129, Agent Fall. Agent Fall is a retro side-scrolling shooter across sprawling platformer stages, from the desert sands and jet hangars of the surface to mysterious underground labs and waterways. Choose from 4 agents and infiltrate the base and search and destroy operation where you've got the ultimate license to kill. That sounds kind of cool. Sounds like Mega Man X, honestly, a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't look it up, but that's what it kind of sounds like. And then on 131, Genso Manege, a beautifully produced festival of romance. Well, that's Menage? I don't know.
Menage, I think.
Follow Emma as she fights to reawaken her magical powers in order to aid a unique cast of characters, all of whom are trapped inside a magical traveling amusement park. Great. Just great.
Yes.
Some NSO updates for you, Ed.
Ooh.
We have Fatal Fury 2. These are all Super Nintendo games, by the way. We have 3 Super Nintendo games coming. Fatal Fury 2, 1 year after the events of Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, and the death of Geese Howard, a mysterious nobleman becomes the sponsor of a new, quote, King of Fighters tournament. This time, the tournament takes place around the world, and both veterans and newcomers competing and battling against each other. Super Ninja Boy, an action role-playing game released on the Super NES featuring random encounters and side-scrolling battles. Although some boss battles are fought with a traditional menu-based system, there are also a few platforming sections. In a single-player mode, the main character is Jack. Okay. It's a weird description. Just stops. And then last but not least, this was initially released in parts via Satellaview in Japan, but then ended up coming out on a cartridge there. This is one of those Japanese-only games that are making their way over.
Mm-hmm.
Sute Hakun is a puzzle platformer where players control Hakun, a penguin-like bird, to restore the shattered rainbow of happiness by collecting rainbow crystals. Gameplay involves moving blocks and using color potions to alter their properties. Wow. With no time limits or enemies, but a score system rewarding efficiency. So those are your 3 NSO updates, Ed.
Yes. Fatal Fury 2, I do want to try out. I've never heard of Super Ninja Boy. Like, I've never heard it or seen it. So that's going to be interesting. And then Sute Hakun, I can't wait. I see how it looks. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. I give this game a try.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably look at some of these. And then we have one Nintendo Music update for everybody. On last week on 120, which was, kind of right when our last episode released. Super Mario Kart's original soundtrack for the Super Nintendo was released on Nintendo Music with 37 tracks. So you can go check that out. And that, Ed, is our pack watch for this week.
Awesome.
Quite a bit.
Yes.
Quite a bit. Nothing like super standoutish, but quite a bit to share with everybody. So excited to hear what everybody has to say.
Yes.
All right, Ed, why don't we get into question block?
Yes, let's get into question block.
Question block. Remember, you can submit your questions, comments, concerns, or topics to Nintendo Power Block through our Discord or our free Patreon tier on Blue Sky or Twitter or YouTube or wherever you can find us. We will find your questions. Usually we have a thread in specific places, but we will find your questions if you send them in. With that said, our first question comes from Sam Hall via YouTube comment. He says, "Hello, my favorite Elite Block agents." Wow, first time a fan has used that term.
Yes.
Are we going to try to make that a thing again, Ed? Are we going to make that a thing?
Elite Block agents? Yeah, of course.
I mean, I know you're trying to make it a thing. You've been trying for years, but I want to say that I loved the 3+ hour show last week. It was awesome. I am asking a question about the launch window of Switch 2. Do you think third-party titles will spread themselves out over the course of the first 6 months, or do you think they'll release all at the same time? This seems to be a very difficult launch situation for Nintendo, or a very different launch situation for Nintendo. Thanks for the show and everything you do.
So I'm gonna answer this one first, Corey.
Go right ahead.
It's going to be spread out over the 6 months plus. I think there's going to be some big third-party games. We're definitely going to be looking to some indie games. I think Konami and Capcom want to be in it because, like, look, Bomberman from Konami did numbers when it released, and that, a lot of people ended up picking that up on other platforms too. The system, I think, is going to grow with games from everybody. We mentioned Microsoft, so some that stuff could come there. PC game is probably going to be on there. Definitely with the mouse. Like, I could see Valve, hopping on and be like, let's get Half-Life and Half-Life 2 on that mug. Anything is literally possible, but for the next 6 months or 6 months plus, they're going to be spreading out a lot of their third parties. So I'm like, everybody's going to be looking for the indie direct. The summer direct this year is going to be huge. Definitely, if we get a release date, Switch 2 coming out this fall, Square Enix and Ubisoft is going to be trying to be there. Sega is definitely going to be trying to be there. Definitely with Atlas, man. They are going the Persona 3 remake. Yeah, they're gonna try to get that on remake. Yeah, they're gonna try to get that on Switch, and that could be a launch game or sometime down the line. Like, Sega definitely is gonna go hard on hard of that, but all of that's gonna be spread out over time. Nintendo probably is building up their first party thing, and they want to make sure that their first party is strong enough to carry the system. As long as it's out. And definitely they want to make sure that they have a huge holiday, because right now, no disrespect to Microsoft, but Microsoft got a strong spring, and up until holiday, up until fall 2025, until we see Ninja Gaiden 4. We don't know anything that's from them. We know, at least from Sony, they're going to have Ghost of Yotai, and they're going to have MLB The Show. And that's all we know from them. And maybe Marathon, if that releases. That's all we literally know from them. We don't have anything else from them. So I think Nintendo is going to be spreading out their first party along with third party spreading out theirs. So I think that's what's going to happen within the 6 months of the launch window.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo's going to change their plan in terms of their first party, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
you're going to see it's going to be a similar cadence to the Switch 1, right? Where
Yes.
I think although I think you're going to see some Switch 1 releases interspersed in there, like anything that's a remake or a remaster, you're going to see come out from them is going to be on Switch 1. But I think you're going to see like at least one first party game every 4 to 6 weeks, similar to what we saw that first year.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of third party, I actually think a lot of companies are going to try to spread themselves out, and you're going to see a lot of maybe ports that first, 6 months or so,
Yes.
because a lot of those companies are delaying their games to stay out of the way of Grand Theft Auto 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so where are they going to go? Oh, well, we can put some of our games and make up some of that money on the Switch 2 because people are going to buy that regardless of Grand Theft Auto 6 being there or not. And guess
Right.
what? Grand Theft Auto 6 isn't coming to Switch 2. I can tell you that right now.
Oh no.
So, what do? Oh, this month, Ubisoft puts out, maybe that's when Assassin's Creed Shadows comes to Switch, is that October, whenever Grand Theft Auto comes out. Or, Final Fantasy comes out in August, or Halo Master Chief Collection comes out in November, or you know what I mean? Like these companies are going to find a way to spread themselves out to where
Mm-hmm.
they're going to do a great job of filling in the gaps for Nintendo. I was just thinking about that as you were talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 because I keep forgetting that game is coming out. And I know I'm like the only one that forgets that game's coming out because I just don't. I'm pretty sure you and I are like the only two people that don't care about that game whatsoever. I really don't
Right.
care.
I mean, I'm going to get it to give it a fair assessment to see what they do. That's how I am. I could judge a game, but if I'm going to judge it, I need to play it. But I really don't care about its release neither or anything. I don't know. That's something out. And Nitty. Let me tell you, everybody. And I'm getting it back to the board. I'm sorry. Nitty is the only one that will go against Grand Theft Auto and really don't care what about people think.
Yeah, well, it's because Nintendo just does what they want.
Drop Grand Theft Auto and let's see them put out a Smash Brother game out. Them fucks would go be like, what do I get? No, it's not which one you gonna get. You're gonna make instead of gonna make coin anyway. You're gonna get Grand Theft Auto 6 and you're gonna get that Smash game if they did something. A new Fire Emblem from Koei Tecmo? Come on now.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see. It's about time for Fire Emblem like return, right? I mean, we haven't seen one in forever. What was the last
Trust me.
Fire Engage, which was what 2023, right?
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think it's time for one.
And like literally, Nitty could do all of this. It would not be not one bit upset about what people think. Oh, they're going against Rockstar. Yeah, they're going against Rockstar. Guess what? You gonna get the game, or you gonna wait till you're done with Grand Theft Auto and still get the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me, Nintendo has elite black energy to keep it clean about releasing a game. They've done it before.
Yeah. So I think I think you're gonna see Nintendo kind of, I don't know. I think Nintendo's gonna have a strong first party lineup, but they also are gonna have a strong third party presence, stronger than ever, maybe because the power is there to warrant certain companies to be there. And I think all these companies expect Nintendo to not flop like the Wii U.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna see Assassin's Creed, you're gonna see Final Fantasy, you're gonna see Microsoft's kind of lineup of games. You're gonna see all these games there in a real way, in a real meaningful way. You're gonna see the sports games there this fall.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean, I think you're gonna see this lineup make sense. I think you're gonna see these games come out where they make sense, and you know, I do think these companies are smart enough not to release all these games in 1 month, you know, like
Right.
to fight each other for that space when they know Nintendo's going to dominate first party wise anyway. But on the other hand, like, you know, you that launch window is going to be so full. I do think these companies are going to want to get whatever they like, the games that are out already on other platforms. I think they're going to want to get out before the holiday season, right?
Yes.
But they're not all going to come out in the same like 2 week span or on launch day or whatever. So,
right.
I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, this cough is just not going away. Our next question comes from Deshaun Malone. Hey, y'all, do you think the Switch Pro controllers and accessories will be backwards compatible just like the games?
I think Nintendo has the technology to do that, so yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will. I even think the Joy-Cons will be to some extent. Obviously, you won't be able to connect them, but like
right.
For games like Mario Party, like older Mario Party games and, you know, Wii Sports and the Ring Fitted Adventure or whatever, like I think you're going to be able to connect Joy-Cons for those, right? I don't see why not. That's my opinion. I think they will sell new versions of them that will have features that you will want, like a headphone jack in the controller, or, you know, whatever that new third button is on that one Joy-Con. They're going to put that on a Pro controller, that kind of thing. But overall, I think if you have accessories, they will work. You know, like, I mean, my kids aren't going to care about some of this stuff, right? They're going to use these other controllers. I mean, me like a crazy person, I will buy 4 Pro controllers and I will buy more Joy-Cons because I'm a crazy person. But normal person may not. All right, our last question, Ed, comes from Chris Ondecker. Writes in, hello, Ed and Corey. I am new to the show and I'm really enjoying the Switch 2 talk. I've been looking for more Nintendo related content lately and I really enjoyed what I listened to so far. How do you think the Switch 2 will fare against the other consoles this holiday? Thanks again. Looking forward to your thoughts.
So, I think how they will fare this holiday, I think everybody's going to be trying to get a Switch 2. I think with PlayStation, definitely PlayStation 5 Pro and PlayStation Portable. I think with Microsoft, with their Series X and S, and the right versions of those systems. I think with Switch 2 being a bigger thing, if the cards are played right and it, you know, people are loving it and there's stuff that we see after April 2nd, that there's some more to offer in the console, I think people are going to be looking forward to Switch 2 than the other platforms. So I think fair in the gifts, I think Switch 2 probably have more of the upper hand than PlayStation and Xbox. And that's not a knock against Microsoft and Sony, but normally when it's the hot thing, when it's the hot new console, that's the one that people want to gravitate to. With it, you know, we had a pandemic. We had a hard time getting a PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Now that those are more available, even with the PS5 Pro and, you know, PSP, those systems are not moving as nearly like if Switch 2 was supposed to come out this summer and they had enough to ready to go, everybody's going to be trying to get a Switch 2, you know. And then definitely if it offers something more that the Steam Deck and ROG Ally can't do, then yeah, everybody's going to be trying to get that newness out of Nintendo.
Yeah. For me, I think the Switch 2 is going to sell well. I think it depends on how much product they can get out there. You know, like I know they said they wanted to try it. their internal goal is to sell 20 million of these in their first year, which is a lot. But also the Switch was popular, and like I said before, it depends on the games that Nintendo puts out. It depends on the games that third parties put out on the Switch 2 platform.
Yeah.
And it depends on what the other consoles have to offer. Like if you're gonna, it depends if PlayStation has first party stuff that's interesting, right? Like maybe also like the PlayStation is more available than the Switch 2 might be this holiday. So like I could see the PlayStation edging it out just based on pure stock availability. I think Microsoft has gone in such a totally different direction, and their sales numbers have gone down across the board year over year. But I mean, they do have a strong lineup this year too. Like maybe they can finally draw people into their platform. But I think Nintendo beats out Xbox. I think it's still up in the air against PlayStation, depending on what PlayStation puts out and if Grand Theft Auto ends up coming out, and all these other factors. But yeah, I think if Nintendo puts out a strong first party lineup, they have enough stock to meet the demand of the console, and they have great third party support. Nintendo could win this holiday. Yeah. Obviously, it's January, and we don't have the the time machine to tell you, but that would be my opinion.
And I think you also have to factor in. We have to factor in. Chris, is that you have Japan and you have Europe, so you have a universal release, and you have a universal of games coming out. So of course PlayStation would do good in the UK, but like America and Japan is really really heavy on Nintendo. So there,
you know what we didn't talk about, Ed? You just reminded me of it, and I want to get it out. I didn't mean to interrupt you again, but
no, go ahead.
I thought of this as you said, this universal kind of worldwide release, which is pretty normal for consoles now, I think. But like, what if Dragon Quest 12 is shown at the reveal of this console?
Say it again, you froze.
What if Dragon Quest 12 was revealed at the launch of this console, like the Nintendo Direct?
You froze again. What game?
Oh my gosh, Dragon Quest 12.
Okay. Yes.
What? Yeah.
Huge reveal. I'm like, not only like as big as people have jumped on Dragon Quest, huge reveal for Japan. Like literally huge. And I think we talked about that. I was just like, where else would you want to show this game for people to be hyped about? Of course, show this at Nintendo Switch Direct or the reveal of the console. That's the place to do it, because now you got not only, of course, it's coming from PlayStation and maybe Xbox and PC, but everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, this is our first reveal. Yeah, I need to get this."
Yeah,
and you know how Dragon Quest still does big numbers in Japan.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah. So, I don't know. It was just a thought I had while you were talking.
No, that's cool. Like I said, I'm like, shoot, let Sega be like, okay, yes. Square Enix is...
I mean, Yakuza. I mean, you could have like, that Sonic racing game ready. You could have that, all those like the remakes of their classic IP, like Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, ready to go.
I was going even further. I'm just like, okay, Mouse, Shining Force 4. Some people like the Shining Force series. The mug said exclusive. Here's Phantasy Star 5. What? Wait, huh?
Yeah.
They could keep Shenmue. They could keep all of that.
Mm.
But shoot, yeah, but like you said, Jet Set Radio. Oh, come on now, dude. A 4K HD remaster looking at Jet Set Radio. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now Nitty could be shady and do like a up-res HD version of Wind Waker, and I think I would be like, Corey.
I think one of those games is coming this year.
Corey, I'm like, we may have to, when we do the direct recap, if that game gets revealed, that's an expansion pass. I wouldn't even want the Wind Waker in just the direct recap. I'm like, this would have to be an expansion pass.
I'm telling you, one of those games is coming this year. It's going to be one of the slot fillers this year.
The crazy thing is, I hope it's Twilight Princess because it looks more graphically. It has the potential to look more graphically detailed, and I'd be like, Stephanie,
but that's a texture issue. That's not an up-resing issue. I actually think Wind Waker would look better with the technology that's in the Switch right now, or in the Switch 2, right? Uh-huh. Like it's the AI up-resing stuff would actually work a lot better with Wind Waker because it's the graphical style is simpler.
Okay.
But I mean, I want them both, right?
Oh, yes.
And I actually think both of them, whenever they do release, will come out on Switch 1.
Oh, yeah. I'll be like, Stephanie, you have call off work. I'm gonna need you on this direct recap on this expansion pass. We would have to talk about this. If that drops on the second, I'm gonna need one of y'all to take over my shift because I'm like, Mr. Derek, tell him that you got a 15-minute break. Get on the phone with me.
Well, we have that rumor direct in February, right? Like. Mm-hmm. And I bet it's going to be on the day that I leave for New York for work because, when don't these things happen on days that I'm super busy? But I will have my stuff with me so we can talk about it because I'm not,
of course,
missing that. But that rumor direct in February is going to focus on Switch 1, right, for the rest of the first half of the year. Mm-hmm. I think the Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters are coming. I think one of those Zelda remasters is coming, if not both, at some point.
They have to.
It's not going to be a bundle either, guys. I know everybody thinks it's going to be. It's not going to be a bundle. Zelda is one of their premier franchises. They are not going to sell those games in a bundle for $60. You're going to pay $60 each. And let me tell you, I will pay $60 each for those. Again.
Now, they could. I'm just saying they could bundle it. They could Pokemon this one.
Oh, yeah. You mean you could buy a bundle for $120?
You don't think they're gonna try to put? You don't think folks are gonna try to get them Nintendo vouchers?
I'm just saying, like the physical version. Remember when Pokemon released? I don't know if it was Scarlet and Violet, but I know Sword and Shield released that dual pack.
Yeah, they did it for Scarlet and Violet too.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, they could bundle it that way, but I'm just saying you're not going to be paying $60 for both of them. You're going to be paying
one cartridge. Yeah,
you're going to be paying $60 for each of them.
Yeah, that's nonsense right there.
But I mean, there's still a lot of remasters that could be coming over. I mean, like I said, you know what bundle I bet the Switch 2 launches with, actually? Maybe not launches with, but a launch window game, especially if that 3D Mario game isn't ready. A Galaxy 1 and 2 remastered physical bundle. And I know Galaxy 1 already came in that 3D All-Stars collection. Mm-hmm. But I still think Galaxy 1 and 2 dual pack remastered is going to be available for Switch 2.
Yeah.
Because I still think that 3D Mario game isn't ready. And that's why Mario Kart is launching with the console. And I think Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 Remaster is going to be your 3D Mario game this year. For Switch 2.
Yeah. I yeah, like 700% agree with you. Like that's all I can say. 700% agree with you. Yeah.
I just think those games are I think those games are too seminal and too important to not bring forward at some point.
Right.
You know. Um same with Mario Galaxy and Mario 64. Like I mean, I know Mario 64 is on NSO and part of that 3D All-Stars collection, but like I mean, you're going to leave them on that collection that you can't buy anymore, Like I still think you're going to I still think they're going to sell those individually at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Mario 64, but the Galaxy games and Sunshine. So just because that Sunshine remaster looked really good, like
Yes.
it looked really nice and widescreen support. Like, just saying, they did a really nice job.
Yeah.
Even though that game's not very good.
Shade.
Saying. But yeah, Ed, that's all I got though. That's all the questions we got.
All right. And thank you, Chris, for checking us out. Great that you are a new listener. Hope you stick around and hear more of our conversations.
Yeah. Leave us a rating and a nice review.
Yes. And join our Discord.
And join our Patreon. We're forcing it all on you right now. No, but seriously, thanks for giving us a listen. It's always nice to hear from new listeners.
Yes. Well, I really don't have any final thoughts, everybody, but my final thought is the developer direct from Microsoft was really great. It was so good to see all 4 games. I thought there was going to be some surprises. I know Ninja Gaiden Black 2 is a big surprise, and that's kind of the 5th game, but everything looks so good. I'm kind of now sold now on South by Midnight. It looks better with the presentation, which makes, oh goodness, April or May is going to be insane. Just completely insane. Expedition 33 looks great also. I know that's a big game everybody's looking for. Like I said about Doom, The Dark Ages, I just need to be crazy. Great soundtrack. And can't wait to see more. Actually, I can't wait to play that game. And not Ninja Gaiden 3, Ninja Gaiden 4 looks insane and amazing. And I kind of feel like the plot may be a little bit cliche depending on the end, but knowing Platinum and knowing Team Ninja, the gameplay is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be combos galore that we're going to learn. But yeah, that whole developers direct, I came away from that very impressed. And great job, Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Now, Sony, get on with the state of play because I need to see what y'all bringing. And like Nancy, if you bring us a direct in February, which I think they will,
they have for the last 7 years. Why wouldn't they do one now?
Yeah. And I know I can always see that people say, well, are you going to have... No, they don't need to talk about no Switch 2. Wait till the system reveal, everybody. And then let's get the games from what they're going to bring. Of course, we know some stuff that's coming out in 2025 for Switch, but we'll probably dive deeper, which probably have a bigger reveal for Metro Prime 4. That would be good to see. But yeah, the Nintendo Direct, if it does happen in February, on top of all the great games that's coming out next month, definitely a Vow. I'm super excited for a Vow and Monster Hunter Wilds. It's going to be a really great month. We're going to have a lot to talk about. So I know it's past my 60 seconds. But yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And yeah, once again, congratulations, Microsoft, on the Developers Direct.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't know if I'm as high on it as you are, or a lot of people, but it's because I'm just not into those types of games. Like, I like Doom. I don't love Doom. I respect Ninja Gaiden. I'm not a huge Ninja Gaiden person, although, I do want to give that series another shot. Expedition 33, honestly, I know I'm in the minority of this in terms of people in our circle as well, but that game doesn't look interesting to me at all. I don't really care about it at all. um, and then South of Midnight is actually the game I'm like the most excited for out of everything they showed.
Yes. To me, and I know I'm sorry for this comparison, it really feels like the Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, what's cool though is that it's a small experience. It's only like, even if you buy it, it's only $40.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
they said pre-orders went live, right? I think
Maybe. And I think if you buy the deluxe edition, you get it 5 days early or something.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna do the regular 40. Because I know I was gonna pre-order it. I thought it was going. I probably just gonna go ahead and do it digitally on Xbox. Like this Thursday.
Yeah.
Because I do want the game. And the more that I see of it, the more excited I get for it. But yeah, it kind of it feels like their Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm fine with that. I'm so up for that.
Yeah, I thought the alligator fight they showed in that footage was awesome.
That's so good. Yeah,
yeah, it looks cool. I'm also glad you can turn the stop motion animation off during gameplay, because that really bothers me.
Really?
It makes me want to throw up, because the rest of the game is moving in like 60 frames a second, and then you have the characters moving in like 15 frames a second, and it just really, it really throws me off. Like, if the rest of the game was like that, maybe, but like, I can't. I don't know.
I thought the stop motion was just for the cutscenes.
No, it's for gameplay also, but you can you can turn it off.
Turn it off. Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why it looked a little bit smoother. Mm-hmm. In gameplay.
Yeah, because in the gameplay they turned it off for the demo. Or for the showcase.
For the showcase. Okay.
I guess for me, like, I look at all these rumors and all these like games that could be coming to Switch 2, and I'm like, just based off of like life situations and life things and the amount of time I have to do certain things, I definitely feel like I'm moving closer and closer to a one console player. You know, I mean, I still primarily play a lot of stuff on Switch and Xbox, and I try to dabble in PlayStation when I can, but like, I don't know, if a lot of the stuff ends up coming to Nintendo, I could see myself just almost exclusively playing Nintendo for the next however many years we do this, you know?
Yes.
And that's not the other console's fault or anything. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I have kids who are also interested in this stuff that I would really like them to be indoctrinated into the Nintendo ecosystem first. Because I saw my nephews getting to like the Fortnite ecosystem. And even though my kids know what Fortnite is, I would rather them play, like, you know, today we played Mario Party for like 2 hours today, all of us as a family. And it was like, I would rather show them stuff like that, especially while they're young.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's just a thought I've been having a lot recently, is like, what does a one console household look like for me at this point? So I don't know. We'll see. Not that it's going to happen, because I still, you know, I'll still need an Xbox for Destiny, and I'll still need a PlayStation for Horizon, and some of these other games that won't run on Switch 2 will be interesting to me at some point, but, you know. Anyways, that's my final thought. Get me out of here, Ed.
All right, Corhood, what an episode. That was another packed one. Love these packed episodes.
I know. It feels so old school. I love it.
Yes. Well, thank you for watching or listening to this episode of Nintendo Power Block. You can catch new episodes Monday on your podcast service of choice on YouTube or on our free Patreon tier. Remember, if you're watching the video, subscribe on YouTube, like the video, and leave a comment. If you're listening, leave us a rating and a nice review. Get this show ad-free along with other perks like early access to Expansion Pass, video game book club, become a Patreon producer, exclusive content, and more by heading to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Network. Follow us at Boss Rush Network and at Podblock Podcast on all major social media platforms, including Blue Sky, and find all of our content, including reviews, daily banters, features, and more on our website at bossrush.net. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye. Woohoo!
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.